Like this?
Yeah, no flame.
Yeah, it was fun.
Wasn't it fun?
That was great. Yeah, it was a good time. Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was like, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
What really made it for me?
Maybe like, yeah, watching you do something, you're like, yeah, here, gotta go there, enjoy yourself, have a drink.
There's a download cord. I mean,
Should charge us.
Right there?
Yeah.
still around?
Yeah. I've been
Out there.
asking him,
Yeah.
he's
No.
been traveling for work and stuff like that. So.
No, I don't know.
Could do it, yeah, then, you served with him, right, was it an open already? Yeah. You low again?
Well, I just don't rock.
Yeah.
Oh, good, so, you're right.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, are you losing it?
Turn
Oh, yeah.
forward. Not gonna left.
Well, forward.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just supposed to. Oh, back. Yeah.
Turn it forward.
Oh, no.
Well, that's, I think, the hardest that we can take, again, you know, to not even do it. So, I don't know if Fred's coming or not, but we're gonna get going. I think we should. You almost ready? We're almost ready. We're just trying to get the recorder on.
I don't know if this is recording. Yes, I think it's recording.
And she can go off the video now. So, that's what she was really concerned about. Okay, we all could rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. All right, so this is a workshop, so I'm just going to take roll call for attendance. So when Terry does get back to the minutes, she can do it. She did get back. She's just got the jet lag. Member Allen?
Present.
Member Boucher, present. Member Hefnecker?
Present.
Member Iannucci?
Present.
Member Carlick?
Present.
Member Kelly, absent at the moment. Member Umberto?
Present.
All right, and our professionals, we have Attorney Cassidy,
Present.
and we have Engineer Higgins.
Present.
And that is all. Our building inspector is not here tonight. Okay, so we don't need a motion. We're not doing, did we decide on this one, Elizabeth? 10 Winchester? Is anyone here for 10 Winchester? You are. Okay, you can come on up. And then just give us your name as you come up and your the spelling of your last name.
Okay, it's Abraham Samet, S-A-M-E-T.
Great, thank you. All right, so what we're gonna do is have our engineer just read the comments that you probably did not yet receive, I'm guessing, at this point, because we were down, it's okay, we were down at our secretary this week, who was away, and so we're all scrambling a little bit. So, but we're gonna have Mr. Higgins review that for us, and we're gonna put it on the roll for the minutes here.
All right, so comment number one, land use review provided by the building inspector indicates that the proposed floor area ratio exceeds the maximum allowed, and as such, the proposed addition requires variance from the zoning board of appeals. Site plan provided indicates that a variance was issued by the zoning board of appeals on August 14, 2024. Copy of the variance decision has been provided to the planning board. Based upon a review, it appears that the plan is consistent with the issued variance. Dimensions for the addition, 27 foot 2 inch by 35 foot, should be provided on the site plan, and it should be listed as a 1-story to ensure consistency with the variance. Number two, there appears to be some double text, bearings and distances that should be cleaned up on the final plan. Number 3, the property is within the SR20 zoning district, and the proposed addition will meet all of the bulk requirements with the exception of the floor area ratio. And number 4, a revision date should be added to the plan to differentiate it from prior versions. That's the.
Can I ask, what's the number 2,
Right here. So
Yes,
there's
those are all clean up.
a bearing and a distance on this line, there's multiple, see the. Yeah. You probably what you do is just freeze that, freeze that.
you asked a question to make it dark, legible.
So this can be off, and that can be on.
That can be all the same thing here.
Correct. They just,
The light comes.
there's just an extra layer with the text that's still on, it can be turned off.
Okay.
Right, and then add the dimensions for the building and list it as a 1-story,
Okay.
and add a revision date to the plan, and I think that would be 10. Well, there'll be a new revision date because they'll add these dimensions.
Whatever they,
Yes.
mention, okay?
Yep, that's it.
So, what is the?
So in light of, what appear to be relatively minor, just map edits, I would recommend that, I prepare a resolution for action at our meeting on the 22nd, subject to those map corrections. You don't need to make those map corrections now, you can await the resolution, there'll be conditions of approval.
So what is the date that I need to submit?
For right now, you don't need to submit anything else. I'm gonna prepare a resolution for the 22nd, which will have conditions.
Okay.
If accepted by the planning board, you would then make your changes after the resolution. So at this point, you don't need to submit anything. It is a type 2 action under seeker because it's a single addition to a single family house.
So if I understand correctly that, it's going to be, taken action on the 22nd.
We'll discuss action on the 22nd, so
Yes.
I won't make any promises, but, so we'll see you on the 22nd.
Do you have any questions of us?
Basically, that's about it. I mean, we should, the zoning board is gonna vote on the actual, they can sign. I mean, I actually submitted the draft of the decision. You can see that all the minutes that was discussed in the meeting. And tomorrow they can actually vote on it and sign it.
Okay, yeah, and we'll get that from them.
So I believe this is the connection that I'm gonna, do it
Right, okay, great. All right,
Just
thank
one,
you.
just one question. Wouldn't we want these comments incorporated in the site plan before we
So
make a
you-
resolution?
So comments like these,
They're minor.
They're minor, we would make, they would be listed in the resolution, subject to correction of those comments. Dave, the applicant would, after the resolution, submit a final plan. The chair wouldn't sign it until
Until it's
Dave
done.
said, David issue a written letter saying, yes, they've satisfied those comments.
I don't want him to walk away thinking everything is fine.
No,
You
no,
No,
okay?
no, he's gonna get something back from council,
Okay.
you know, the resolution.
Gotta make all the
there'll be
changes on the
conditions,
plot plan.
Right,
Yeah.
in the
You
resolution.
understand that?
yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Excuse me.
All right. Second on the agenda is 19 Forshey Street. And so,
William D'Amelio, it's D''A''Melio.
great, and you're the owner?
Yes.
Okay. So I think we're gonna let our engineer just go through his notes.
All right, so, the application involves reconstruction of a single-family dwelling that was damaged by fire. The application has been referred to the planning board under section 200-25.1 because the proposed second floor makes the house larger than those in the immediate vicinity and relates mainly to architectural design and character of the dwelling. The lot is in the SR10 zone with access from Forshey Street. Comment number 1 on the plan, the structure appears to be largely contained within the footprint of the prior dwelling. Therefore, there are no, new setbacks to consider. Based on the bulk table provided and the FAR, the floor to area ratio calculation, it does not appear that any variances are required. Number two, no changes to utilities, grading, or access appear to be proposed. And number three, an EAF was submitted, but we do not believe the construction of a single-family dwelling will be subject to secret. We defer to the board's attorney.
Okay,
So we did want to talk about, a little bit about the architectural.
do you want me to run through mine?
Yeah, oh yeah, would you do that? Yeah.
Sure. So this is on for site plan and architectural review. I'm trying not to repeat everything Dave said. The project is not subject to 239, it's not within 500 feet. Because this is site plan, a public hearing is not required for the site plan review, but a public hearing may be held at the discretion of the planning board. And then applicants provide materials and samples for review as part of the architectural.
So, one of the things, I was looking at the plans, the house itself, just flat front completely, as I see it, right?
Except for an awning that's already over the front door.
Right.
This is so that's what we're proposing, is to have the same front awning.
Yeah, is there anything that you guys can do to that to make it, the features stand out a little bit? Because in that neighborhood, that would be, you know, it's just flat. There's nothing there, you know what I mean?
Right.
Except that one awning. So,
Okay, so I did have a question, so
sure.
if I basically extended that awning from one end to the other end, maybe not even completely to the end, but like, almost like a soffit that comes out instead, so that the whole front is covered?
So, but on the first floor?
Right, it would come out like on the first floor, like almost like the original roof line in a sense, maybe?
Right.
I think they call it an eyebrow.
Yeah.
There, they're in your, on the one door.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Here, I can tell you.
yeah, well, we can pull it up right here.
So what you're saying is that it's similar to like the Cocoa Cheese where it's
Yes.
just flat up front? I
Right,
get you. Versus
exactly.
like a little dormer or a little
Yeah,
meringue.
and that street mostly has like, smaller bungalow type homes, they're all
Yeah.
kind of cute, like different little things. Couple of ones that have, two-story.
Yeah, there's two next to me, and then there's a new one up this
Right,
block.
yeah, and I think there might be one across the street.
Okay.
Yeah, there's one across the street,
Yeah.
one up the block, two houses for me, and then one at the top of the block. that
Right.
just built.
Yep, I saw that one, yeah.
So we should start bring the roof line out a little bit, maybe like a foot or something
Yeah,
like
just,
that,
you know,
give it a little depth.
like you could see, here's some renderings, that would be with the addition right there. That's the northwest corner and the southeast corner, I think.
Front of
So the shed is the back.
Okay. Oh, I see, you see, oh, so the shed's the back. Okay.
Yeah, so right now, that's the front, on the left side, that's the front of the house, right?
Yes.
Right, so it's
So
like,
I
there's
would
4
do-
windows.
Or even if, like you said, like, so even if that, like,
At the split, I was thinking of coming out like with the original roof line.
yeah,
Just so that it would be an overhang across the whole front of the house, is that all right?
that would be an improvement.
That would be an improvement
Yeah.
for sure, you know?
And they get 2 overhangs.
Let me just, I don't think, are there other, oh, those are floor plans.
Yeah. Okay.
Jeff,
That's,
Okay.
Jeff, that's very common. I just spoke with him on the side. They call it an eyebrow.
yeah, I'm
Goes
familiar.
goes across the whole length of the house. He
Right,
says he would be up to doing that.
right, yeah. So,
I think it would look better, I mean, for the aesthetics
Oh, yes.
of the house for you, you
Right,
know,
I mean, you know, for the whole neighborhood, that's fine.
well, it's not
Right.
crazy,
Yeah.
crazy
Creating
cost.
that,
yeah,
Shade over the windows.
Just a little shade over the lower
Right.
windows and stuff like that.
Right.
Kind of
Nice.
brings
Walking on the
that whole
floor,
street up
they'll have the
line,
rain
right?
coming right
Yeah.
out.
Right, that's why we originally kept the front of
Right.
the street covered, but
yeah,
my thoughts were to actually ask you guys if it would have been all right to go across the whole front with it instead.
yeah,
And it wouldn't be then a V, but it
Right.
would be a slope.
Slope, yeah, yeah,
coming
yeah,
up.
right,
It would look like almost the original soffit sticking out past.
right,
right,
give it some depth too.
right, it gives a little
It would
depth
go,
to it.
but I would bring it out probably as far as that is, it's 4 feet.
Okay.
Right,
This way, like when you're under it, you're really under,
Right.
you're not getting
Right.
rained on anyway.
right.
Almost got a whole porch.
And you're
really.
talking about fixing that to it, or are you talking about cantilevering that?
Well, I would just cut that out then and just do the new teardrop right off the front.
Gotcha,
The whole
yeah,
length.
Because then I wouldn't really need that.
Right.
Unless my architect says, hey, you know, we can make that loop.
Yeah,
And then maybe I don't come out the full 4 feet on the other, maybe I come out like 2 or 3 feet.
Yeah, and just have them draw something up that we could take a look at as well. You know, but that would be the idea, that'd be, I think
Just to
that,
break up the straightness.
exactly, you know, and break up, you know, for the eye. you
what's
know,
the status of the house right now? Is it like, are you redoing the whole house? Is it the bit
Well,
burned
it
down?
had a fire.
Is it-
Right.
Oh, returned to the ground?
No, no, no,
Oh,
No.
it was in the attic, I think.
okay.
It was an attic fire, right?
Right.
So
Oh,
most of the roof, and then the 2 bedrooms took abuse, and then the fire, you know, firemen came in, they had to break the windows, they were down.
Sorry to hear that.
Sheet rock, they washed down the whole thing, so everything's
Sure.
basically gotta be gutted anyway.
Yeah.
Right, right,
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's not a huge cost, you know, addition, I would say it would look nice for you, I would think, you know, for sure, the whole length.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I mean, like you said, you know, they had shade to the lower 4
Yeah.
windows.
and then what we need too is whatever the materials that you're using, you know, that you're planning on, the architect, whatever the materials are, we need samples of the material and the actual serial numbers. The colors,
The
So if
siding.
it's like Benjamin
Are you
Moore,
going with siding
Right.
or is it gonna be
Vinyl
aluminum
siding.
or is it
Well,
cedar
I haven't even gotten to that yet, because we weren't sure how,
Okay.
you know.
yeah, and you may not have done it yet, so when you do, we just need those samples to see them.
Well, I would need that probably before the next meeting, right?
Yeah, if that's for the approvals, you would need that.
Because I mean, there's nothing else other than that, so unfortunately, I didn't sit like this since February, you know, I'm trying to collect insurance money, but
Yeah,
that's another thing.
oh, yeah,
Any shutters next to the windows or anything, or?
I don't have any, it's
No.
not planned at this point, no.
I mean, that would help too, you know, it would look nice. You know,
Just the front, you know?
Right.
That's
Yeah.
A lot of houses do
just the front,
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, to make it nice, so, yeah, maybe if you guys consider doing
Maybe the
that.
color of the door or something like that, you know, if you make the door
Right.
a different color, you make the shutters maybe that same genre or something.
right.
What do you plan on doing on the siding? Is it
sorry?
vinyl, what?
Yeah, you know, something that.
Yeah,
Nobody.
Chances are I don't go on ladders anymore either. To that, broke my wrist twice this year.
oh,
from a ladder, off a ladder.
It's not a good year, this is not a
You didn't
bad.
have bad luck. You had no luck at
It
all.
actually all happened from September to September.
Alright, well, it's over now,
Yeah.
hopefully.
So, yeah, so that's what we need, you know, and that's just a part of the.
So some colors, the design that we're gonna use, and
Yep.
material that we're gonna use.
Exactly,
Serial
and,
numbers.
yeah, just, and the sample of the siding, and we just file that, put it together, and that's what we need.
Does he need shingle samples as well, like for like the roof or shingle, or not necessarily, it's not. I mean,
if
extra-
we can have a little bit of a description,
Yeah,
folks,
just
most folks say architectural, you know,
Yeah, charcoal, whatever,
Charcoal.
yeah.
Right, of the shingle, right, and then
The siding and the shingle.
I'm
Yeah, the
assuming he's
exact-
not putting like a neon green or.
right,
hot
but the
pink.
exact
Yeah, no,
types,
it's not me.
the exact types, they'll give you, like Elizabeth just said, is that it's gonna be, you know, if it's Benjamin Moore, it'll give you, it's Benjamin Moore, this color, and here's the code.
Right.
You know, so we, you know, you put that together for us, and the architect, I'm sure, could do that for you. Yeah,
So you're, like, see the side view there, how you don't have much of an overhang in the front or the back? Are you planning on putting soffits out there, like, you know, onto the main roof up there where the gutters are? Because,
Well, it's basically, I guess, the basic soffit, it's only like 2 foot.
okay, 2 foot, okay, yeah, it, I mean, it doesn't look.
Yeah, I know you
show.
showed
Right, on the
yeah,
top.
it doesn't look like
Yeah,
it comes
the
off,
left one,
yeah.
Yeah, because I've seen a lot where, they, you know, they're right up against it, those
Yeah,
gutters back up, it's going right
Well, we're
in the
gonna have
house.
at least a 2 foot.
Instead of the soffit, you know?
Yeah, that would look really ugly
Yeah.
then. So, yeah, no, we're going to extend the 2 feet past the normal.
Yeah, okay,
And like I said, so if I do that other one, maybe 3 feet out, would look a little bit better.
yeah,
Yeah,
And if he wants to, ask the architect, you know, is it easier to tie it into what we're showing as a 4 foot? Or do I just eliminate that and show the whole thing out 4 feet?
I think I would eliminate that and then show the whole thing out,
Right.
you know,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
so, yeah.
Because then too much is going on.
Right, yeah.
yeah, because you would eliminate that anyway, putting
Right.
the other out, so.
And I would have him bring that roof line out, and the bottom left one out another 2 feet as well, which maybe you said he's gonna do. Right now it shows it going straight up, That would look nice, if the bottom left,
What are we talking about?
yeah, so the bottom left picture
The
looking
roof
straight,
itself, you should have it extended wide.
yeah.
Oh, why?
Yeah, a little past the actual
Yeah.
structure of the house, yeah. You know,
Yeah.
that'll give it more depth as well, but yeah, it looked nice, yeah, it does look that.
Oops, sorry.
I don't know if we're gonna keep you in this position.
You know,
Computer for the computer later. Yeah, see how it goes
so
just straight up.
there's some overhang.
Right,
Yeah, you
Not
see it.
but does it show it on the other one though, like,
Yeah.
the, you know, straight at it?
Oh, you mean here?
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Side there.
yeah, you want it,
You want that roof.
yeah,
Yeah.
past- yeah,
Like
like-
at least a foot and a half past that.
yeah, exactly, yeah, it'll look good, it'll look
Usually
good.
like 8 inches.
Good, okay. Yeah, so I think that's it.
That's it.
Yeah. Any questions you have for us?
I think we both asked each other.
Do it together.
Seems pretty smooth right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Compared to everything else. Alright, so do I get a notice? That's the only question. Do I get a notice?
No, if you get those, if you round those things up, and again, if you're using an architect, they're familiar with this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so just tell them, you know, you need to, you'll figure out the materials, and then put that in a list to us, and then a sample of the siding. You know, if you give us, you know, a description, like council had said, of the roof, what you're putting up there, you know, putting a 3-tab, or putting, you know, or whatever. Yeah, that would be good. And then, just have them add the, straight across.
Straight across and
Yeah.
I'll make sure, you know, extends.
Bring that roof line over as
Exactly.
well, yeah,
Yep, yep.
that'll look much better, I
Yeah.
think.
And then you know, and then you get that into us, and then,
So next,
So should I get that in before the
Yes.
22nd?
well,
Or can I come in with?
do you want to accept it for the 22nd, or do you want to wait? I have no objection.
Yeah.
This is a minor
right, it's a minor thing. I don't
coming
have
in
an
on the
objection
22nd. Does
to doing
anybody
it.
else?
No, if you get it in as quickly as you can,
Okay,
and then we can look at it on the 22nd.
that'd be great.
Normally, we don't look at new stuff until after submission date,
Right.
but for something there's no engineering issue.
Right,
I have no objection to having it, you know, but just get it to us so that we can look at it on the 22nd.
Is there a date that it has to be in by?
the 30th of September. So,
So this is us saying we're giving you an accommodation, so, as early as possible, as quick
Alright, yeah,
as,
that's fine.
yeah, as soon as you can do it.
not 5 o'clock on the 22nd.
Even this wasn't in, you know, I
6:30.
had it in a week.
Yeah, yep. So, okay,
Alright, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course,
Very
yeah,
much. Good night.
you got your till, see you soon.
All right.
all right. 123, 125 Elm Street. And I think, what's up, Mike? Dave?
Evening, everybody.
It should be on.
Is it on?
It is, I hear it coming through, but I don't know why it's not louder.
Talk a little louder.
Is that for more for us or for just the
It's for the
actual?
recording.
Okay.
I don't know that,
Should- I mean, it's definitely on, I could hear it when he was tapping it, but
We'd like to hear Mike.
I think you turn it on from there, volume up there, Paul.
I was told never to touch that.
But Paul wasn't.
I'm a rule breaker.
Well, you weren't told that, were you, Paul?
I was not told that.
If
They
you
just
break
didn't want-
it, your council told you not to
They just
touch
didn't
it.
want Elizabeth touching it.
Please
Don't touch.
Somebody just texted, please don't touch. Guys,
Please don't touch.
The Wizard of Oz
We're
is
watching you.
Yes, we won't touch it no more.
Put everything back to where it was.
Did you see the cursor going around? It was going crazy. It was like, no, don't touch it.
All right, Dave,
Same thinking, you're fine, basically.
I guess they hear us.
Years.
Mike, you
Thanks.
just received the,
Yeah,
so we'll go through these, okay? The introduction, I know we've talked about before, so I'll skip that. So these are the comments on the plans. As number one, as noted in the bulk table, the following variances are required. Motor vehicle shop within 200 feet of a recreation area. Lot size, front yard setback, rear yard setback, and increase of non-conforming bulk, and storage of vehicles within any required yard. So you have those noted on the bulk table. Number two, during the the planning board meeting on September 24th, 2024, it was discussed that section 200-51.0, supplemental requirements for motor vehicle repair and paint shop and motor vehicle sales and service, permits up to 5 licensed vehicles requiring minor repairs being left outside for a period of more than 48 hours, and that a variance for the proposed parking of vehicles may require either a variance or a change in zoning. Applicant should advise if they be seeking either or limiting the number of vehicles being parked on site.
Yeah, I mean, at this time, I think I mentioned at the last meeting, we'll probably seek a variance from the ZBA, we'll probably add that to the application at this time. So, and then if there's issues with that, we'll make an appearance before the village board and have that discussion, but at this time, we'll.
So you're going to the ZBA?
Yes,
Right.
yeah, we have to for all the other
Right.
variances anyway, so we may as well add this one to that list at this time.
Right, okay.
So Dave, is it no more than 48 hours or more than 48 hours? Because it says for a period of more than.
Permits up to five vehicles requiring minor repairs being left outside for a period of more than 48 hours.
More than, so, okay. So it doesn't limit it
So
them
less
to,
than,
So it's less than 48
less than
hours.
48 hours.
so it should say no more than 48.
No, I think you could have more than 5 cars as long as it's less than 48 hours, I think.
Right.
So you
Oh,
could-
so you're saying, you're reading it as
For
more
a
than
period
5.
of more than 48
5
hours.
cars
Up to
can't,
5.
5 cars can't be parked there for long term, more than 5
More
cars.
than 2 days.
Short term, in and out, quickie, you could
Right.
have as many as will reasonably fit,
Right.
but you can't have the same,
Same 5 cars, more than 2 days, basically.
correct.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry if that wasn't clear.
Well,
I thought I got it correctly.
I will double check the code.
no more.
All right, so you're gonna request a variance, so you're gonna add that to the
You
table.
hit I agree.
It's, yeah.
Number 3, the zoning code permits off-street parking to be located on a separate lot within 500 feet of the subject property with an easement. The applicant has provided a parking license agreement. While we defer to the planning board's legal counsel for review of the license agreement, we would recommend that it include a meets and bounds description of the license area. I think right now it just shows like an aerial and line.
Yeah, we can do that, that's not, I'm speaking as if this is on and it's not. Yes, we can, we can do that.
Okay. Number 4, as noted on the plan, it is proposed to consolidate tax lots 207-1-2 and 207-1-3 into a single lot. Consolidation of the lots by filing in the county clerk's office should be a condition of any approval granted by the planning board. Number 5, the previously proposed 6-foot-high vinyl fence along the rear property line has been eliminated from the plan. The applicant advises that a recent site meeting with the county resulted in the county preferring to have the existing fence remain in lieu of the new fence, and that correspondence confirming acceptability by the county is forthcoming.
Yes, we're still waiting for correspondence.
Number 6, the submitted site plan includes a landscaping plan prepared by Karen Aaron, licensed landscape architect. The proposed landscaping is limited to 14 shrubs and 1 tree in the front of the auto repair shop. Existing trees located between the property and the heritage trail have been shown on sheet 2 of 5. The planning board should review the adequacy of the proposed landscape. Number 7, the plan proposes a chain link fence with privacy slats along the northern side of the leased vehicle parking area. The applicant should also consider providing screening of the parking area from Elm Street and the adjacent lots.
So this is for the lease?
Yes.
We didn't talk to the lease company to see if that's even possible. It's not already done. Okay, so either way.
You know, the one across the street?
Yes.
That one. You just put a fence on that.
Put a fence. Do you want to move the fence to the other side?
Yeah, well, I think if you look at the plan, the only section of new chain link fence with privacy slats is the section between the proposed parking area and the other area owned by Frontier Communications.
What we already did in the front of our fence. We added.
You added a fence.
Yes, so we added in the map.
Okay.
Now, did you guys get a permit to do that? Yeah, okay.
Right, so we gotta add the fence along Elm Street. Okay.
That was the screening to the adjacent properties. There's another lot, I believe it's a residential lot. To the, if you're looking at the parking area, to the right. I know there's some trees there, but I don't know how, if the deciduous, how much trees might be in it.
Put some grass in the,
Can someone put up the site plan?
Yep. right, let's see. That one? You want that page or another page?
I think there's a page that shows the fence a little more detail. Might be the next one.
That one, and let me see.
Let's see the proposed site plan. So you're talking about.
Oh, here, hold on.
So, can you pan down at all?
Where do you want?
So you see right there, it says proposed chain link fence.
Yes.
There's a gate there, and the fence is shown, the only new fence is shown on the, basically along that left side of the parking area. So now, Leaf is saying that the fence has also been installed along Elm Street,
Yes.
right?
That's what it is.
And then I guess the question is, how about the other side where you have a residence to the right?
Here.
Yeah, to the right of that is a residence, right? There's a residential property to the top.
Scroll up just a little.
All right, this is not a touch screen, so.
There you go.
So we already put it in the wrong pouch. We already put this one in here. This is the gauge asking about what's happening in this property line and that property.
Right. Okay. I mean, I know there's some vegetation there, but I'm guessing that when the leaves drop, that.
Yeah, it's gonna- yeah.
This is the leased area, correct? And that's gonna be for car storage? What's
No,
gonna be,
That's for employee parking.
that's all gonna be employee parking there?
What's reserved, whether or not we're gonna meet all of it, I don't know.
Okay, but there isn't gonna be any car storage from the auto body, from the mechanics or anything? Okay, just make clear.
How many spots are there, Mike? Do you know?
It looks like 25, 12 and 13, scroll down, just make sure there's no other numbers on there.
No, it's 25. We would make that a condition of approval that there's no car storage there. It's also a term of the lease that they presented.
Oh, okay, that there's no car storage in it,
No,
on the lease?
it's for the staff, it's for the in and out.
Okay.
Mike, the 4,000 feet above, is that in support of the auto body shop, or is that going to be something else?
I was taking notes when we were talking about before, can you repeat the question?
I'm sorry?
I was taking notes based on what we were talking about before, can you repeat the question? I didn't hear what you said.
No, what I'm saying is, there's a 2,000-foot extension on the bottom currently, and you're looking at a 4,000-foot extension on the top. Is that for offices?
That's correct.
Is that going to be retail offices?
I think offices just to support the business.
Just to
That's a lot
support,
of office space.
just to support the body shop?
If you want to bring up the architectural.
Okay.
Is it the addition? Nope, hold on. I'm getting there.
So yeah, there is a bit of space allocated for storage and vice versa. I don't know if there's any
So storage, office.
About 300 square feet, which are not very big.
I'm sorry?
Those offices are not very big.
It's not a matter of the offices are not very big, what you're showing now. We're familiar with certain things that happen later in life, and they become other offices and rented out space. If it's rented out space, where are those people gonna park?
I understand your question.
Across the street?
Can you use
That one.
yeah, well, and the parking for this building, it's employee related based on whether it is for the automotive body shop or something else. The parking is across the street. It's office space any way you slice it.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, and we've seen in other areas of Monroe that all of a sudden, these small offices become larger storage areas, and trucks like Prime and other major vehicles come in, and it's a storage area. and then you see smaller box trucks come and make deliveries out of there. This facility is for an auto body shop.
That's correct.
It's not for a tractor trailer depot or anything like that.
Not that I am aware of any of that. If there are additional conditions or whatnot that we place on a plan to make the board feel comfortable about that.
As you know, we've already, for the Cheesecake Factory, there are signs up, no tractor trailer deliveries.
If a tractor trailer could get into the site, I want to see it.
Oh, I'd like to see it down there on Elm Street also,
I don't want to challenge it.
okay?
So we can certainly do the same thing where we can restrict access to certain vehicles, no tractor trailer deliveries along the frontage, things of that nature. I mean, I don't think there's any issue.
We can also limit.
I know it's not a Route 17 Elm Street, but we've seen the problems on 17N. And we don't want to see the problems here, and we don't want to see the use, once something is approved, all of a sudden, all the offices are taken away and it becomes storage for something else.
I mean, tractor trailers parked along the front of the property, sure. So, but we could certainly work with the village to practice things or similar language like we did on chocolate cheese.
Okay.
What would you say, Liz?
Also, they're being granted approval based on the square footage, so parking calculations are on the square footage of that being in office. Were that to convert, it would be, were they to convert, if they did not come back to the planning board, they would be in violation of their, they would
But
be in violation
Elizabeth, they already said that, yeah, maybe it might be offices later on, and the people that are in those offices will park across the street.
But that's accounted for in the approval.
Right, the calculation.
Their parking
is-
calculation.
The parking calculation is
includes
based
the
on
lease.
that.
And I have more comments on the lease, so, did Dave get you all of his comments?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think he's on
And
8.
on to number 8.
8, yeah.
So, but did we conclude what we wanted to do with anything with the screening? I mean, I guess if the only thing parking on the opposite side of the street there is, employee parking, then I guess the board should just consider how much, if any, screening they would like to see along Elm Street or to the residential adjacent properties.
Just be aware of, 244I. I've had that come up a couple. I don't know, that is the buffer requirement for loading and parking between residential and commercial. So, that actually came up on a couple of tonight's applications, for those properties that are, it's 10 feet for parking, 200 feet for loading. Obviously loading on that's not an issue there, but just be aware that.
I don't mean to make you work extra hard tonight, but would you possibly be able to bring up 123 Elm on Google Maps? And we can take a look at a street view? I think it
You're
might
really
be-
making me earn my paycheck.
I think it might be beneficial while we're all here,
Yeah.
and see what we can see.
And this is relating to Dave's question. Yes,
I
okay.
think it makes sense, because then we can just.
Yeah, because I agree with, you know, if the foliage comes down and you got people living right there and they're gonna look at a parking lot now, people going in and out,
It may also already be a parking lot.
Yeah.
It's a Frontier parking lot.
but it's not being used like what we're talking about.
I understand that.
Yeah, I need to obviously get approval from Frontier. So I can't say for sure, yes, but
And Mike, didn't they just get bought by Verizon?
that's what I heard. I don't know that for a fact, but that's
Yeah,
what I
I
heard.
think that's a fact.
I'm waiting for Verizon Fios, I'll tell you that, as soon as possible.
Yeah. Will that change you guys' lease and all that with them, or Verizon, you'll have to deal with another leasee from the parking lot? You have to deal with, if they sold it, you have to, with that, deal
Well, they're
with
still
their,
bound by the contract, but they can give you a 90-day
right?
Well, we'll
notice,
talk about
which
the,
we didn't get to yet.
They might want that back.
oh, you mean my little man?
Growing up, I've been looking at Google Maps came up, and it has our own. Right there.
There we go, yeah.
You want me to go for a little walk?
He's got my trailer and everything.
That's the
It is
parking
a
lot.
funny
That's it.
And then next door, and my next door neighbor, I'm sure.
So there's a fence now, though, to the halfway down the middle, like halfway across the lot, widthwise, all the way down in the front.
Yeah, down the entire property line and across the back, that's matched, right?
So I think the plan just showed the privacy fence on the left, running from the front.
We have a chain link all the way around.
Potentially.
So the privacy, from what I saw, and I didn't go into the lot, but on Elm Street, there's a new chain link with the green.
Lattice.
It's not even slats. It's like a different. I haven't seen it. It's like fuzzy stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Maybe we can put the slats around
Yeah.
the entire perimeter around the existing chain link fence. I mean, that would certainly screen the parking lot
Yes.
without causing any issue with the separation distance.
Could you gentlemen in the back just keep it down a little bit because it's coming. We think interfering too with the microphones. Sorry, go ahead, Dave. And Mike.
Potentially, we could add the privacy slats all the way around that chain link fence. That
So
was,
is that new? Because I didn't get to go inside it. Is that new all the way around?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so.
Right. That's what I saw.
It's only about 4 feet high.
Which is all you need for screening from the vehicle.
Are you gonna repave it by any chance? Is it gonna be repaved by any chance? Well, it's just a question, it's not, because it does look rather bad. I'd be careful if I were you. Be careful.
Well, talking about safety, is there any requirement from when your business is here and your parking is across the street? Is there any kind of a crosswalk or designated lines in the road supposed to be there to help with that? Is there anything?
Crosswalk.
Nothing that I know of.
No, okay.
Not traditionally speaking, or typically. But I mean, it would be easy for us to, add that. We don't have any room for landscaping. We need to maintain our separation distances for loading and whatnot per the code. I mean, we do have existing screening trees that are there. We could add the privacy slats all the way around, which would certainly block the view of the vehicles, would prevent us from violating a portion of the code, and solves the problem of not having enough room for plantings.
Is the fence intact all the way around?
If it's not, we'll repair it where it needs to be, yeah.
The fence is intact.
If it's broken, it's just
Mike, I'm always, aware of cost. Okay? The fence is old. You're gonna put slats through the fence. I don't know if the slats maybe can fit through the older fences. Okay. But wouldn't it be better just to put a brand new 6-foot fence with the green slats or something like that? I'm sorry?
I don't think I can do that on Frontier's property. That's not our property. We're leasing. So
Oh, okay.
I think I stand a chance with Frontier. I'm asking them, can we put some privacy slats in?
Yeah,
Because they can just weed in and out of holes.
I see what you're saying.
But
So
I can't go represent them.
that is not that is not part of the applicant's property. That's leased land.
Well, if I own the land, I'd let you do it.
Put a brand new
Fence up.
Yeah.
I mean, what would the board like to see here? Because I don't know that we
Look at
we thought about a brand new fence on this. I don't know that I can approach Frontier for it. That has been a parking lot for decades. That has not been screened. We are proposing something that makes the conditions certainly better to the village.
If I make a suggestion, would be, I think it would be helpful to have the screening on property lines, so you're screening residential property. Again, Elizabeth mentioned that the code calls for some buffering from residential property. I almost think it would be better to leave along Elm Street somewhat open, so for security purposes, you can see, you're not boxing the property in with an evergreen slatted.
Well, it's already across the front. You can't see from Elm Street. You can't see through that fence.
And that's what, I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, that's already, that part, so if you look at this, it's perfect, it's a rectangle. The left side of the rectangle, which is now that vehicle that's out there, I can't tell, the truck, it looks like a Frontier truck.
Middle?
It goes, the fence would go kind of right through that.
Right.
At this point, and there's a fence in the front that's brand new. On the right side, going all the way back, and in the back, that's what we're talking about. That's not new. That's a 4-foot fence with no privacy at all.
Right.
Currently, that's what's there. So they're talking about adding what they put in the new sections to the other sections.
But I think what Dave is saying, if I understood you correctly, the privacy slats along Elm Street actually prevent the view of the parking lot from criminal activity.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able, unless you drove into it, to see. I mean, there was an opening, I think, on the left there. I have to go back, I was over there the other day.
I think it's better to be able to see the parking lot from the road, and not see the parking lot from the adjacent residential house.
Right, right.
I agree
So in
with
other words,
Dave.
remove the privacy slats just along the frontage.
Yeah, I hear it, right.
Right.
And leave the privacy slats on the other three sides.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that, because I do think security is more important.
Is there lighting for the parking lot?
That was another question. What is the existing lighting?
Is there a pole in the center?
It's all pole, like an old metal halide lights.
Is that on the plan, Mike? The lighting?
I believe it would be showing utility poles. I don't know if it's actually noted as such.
I gotta move.
Because with employees and so forth, I think,
Yeah, when it starts
Go-
getting
What do
Yeah.
we decide, page 2 or page 3?
at the end of this month.
Dave, did you review the lighting at all?
I thought that there was lighting on the other side of the existing pole, but I honestly,
There is, yeah.
It looks like there's one in the center of the parking lot
Yeah,
there.
there's, again,
Yeah.
old school metal halide. It's in that particular parking lot, so that parking lot is lit.
You're not listening to me.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
No, not you.
Talking to the computer.
The computer that, when you scroll and it just keeps going and you've already,
Actually, there's the symbol right there, you see that little, that shows that there's a little light on it.
So there's one, what you're saying, if I'm hearing you right, Mike, is there's one lighting pole.
I think there's another one in the back.
let's see if this doesn't scroll past.
So I don't know how that could be sufficient.
There's another pole there. There's another pole there that shows existing lighting. And if you scroll down, there's another pole here with
That's a-
existing lighting. So I mean, that parking lot,
That's a pole?
Got it, yeah.
So there's
Four?
4.
Yep.
Oh, you could, on your.
Right now, what it's been used for is guys that are working here, they're done with their trucks. Fines are out of there, you know what I mean? Unless they're on overtime. So,
Four lights, right? Four pole lights?
And those are the old metal halides, those
Yeah,
things.
better than,
They
yeah,
project a ton of light. They were LED, I tell you, were more.
yeah, right.
Those project. So am I hearing that the board would like us to remove the privacy slats along the frontage on Elm Street and install them on the other two property owners?
I mean, I would think that would be a
Yeah,
better,
I think we all agree.
a better situation on that.
Yes.
That's fine.
You know? But I am concerned about the lighting, Mike, and I mean, I've gotta go over there and go at nighttime. And the only reason I'm saying that, with all the offices you're putting in, and, potentially, you're gonna have a number of people walking back and forth across that lot, and, crossing the streets and so forth. I don't think the street's an issue there, but I think and again, the surface, it looked pretty rough on the surface, and if you got people that are coming back and forth to office type work, to me, that surface is gonna matter.
I'm sure there's 4 lights, right? 4 pole lights, you said?
Right, but I don't know what that means.
Yeah, if they even work.
Right, if they're working, if they're, what kind of lighting it is.
Right.
We'll take a look at research.
Okay.
And when we get out of here tonight, we'll all drive by.
That's right. I know. I try to get all that stuff in during the day, going and looking at things, but, you know, because, but I wasn't
Is
thinking
it
of that.
strictly gonna be like, or, you know, morning to about 5 or 6 o'clock? You're not expected to go late into the day,
The
or?
only plan to have is employees in school, with what we're going to have work over there, so I guess 5, 6 o'clock, everybody's on.
Okay, yeah, you're shutting down at regular, you know, no nighttime hours or anything like that.
Yeah, but we're not making that a condition unless you wanna make it a condition. You know what I mean?
No,
You
I
can't
just,
do it.
right.
Because if it's not a condition, you know, an owner can say, hey, we got offices here and people can work till 9 o'clock, let's say. Whatever, you can do that. So if you do, you wanna make sure they're safe going back and.
The light and
Right, that's,
the surface, that's very true.
yeah, so. Because the surface right now, from what I saw, is pretty rugged.
You beat up.
Okay, good. Thank you, Robert, Chair, for the discussion.
Okay.
I think we have 2 more comments to review. Number 8, cover letter provided by the design professional indicates that the applicant currently uses and has been using oil dry cleanup kits for oil spills within the building, and that all vehicular work has been and will continue to be performed within the building. A note should be added to the plans to so indicate. Additionally, the applicant shall explain how any leaking fuels and oils from damaged vehicles in the lots could be handled.
So, we can certainly add, that note to the plan, or whatever you call it, I think we will. And again, as we discussed before, the vehicles are inspected, like, as they're brought in. If there's a leaking vehicle, it doesn't go in the parking lot, it goes into the garage for whatever repairs are necessary, and then would be stored potentially outside. I can place that, note on the plans as well, if that makes the board feel more comfortable about how the procedures of handling.
So let me ask, are cars towed there, right? Is that, cars get towed there?
Of course, yeah, whether flatbed or,
And you tell me that mechanics inside stop their work, go out when a vehicle, tow truck drivers just bring a vehicle in, park it. They stop what they're doing, go out, and then do a whole assessment on the
well, they're
vehicle?
looking for leaking vehicles in the car. So if there's oil,
Yeah.
I mean, and gasoline, you don't even want that. You want to pick that up quickly, right? You don't want
Yeah.
leaking gasoline where we could end up with, you know, some type of an explosion. So those things are, they inspect them as they come in. If there's enough leaking oil and gasoline, it's dealt with before the car is stored with on the site. If there's, for some reason, I mean, if that's the operating procedure, they don't necessarily need to check the cars that are already in the site. They've been checked.
Right, I'm talking about like the vehicles being towed in.
Yeah, vehicles towed in, they take a look at it. They'll take a look at it before it's parked in the actual site. If there's any leaking gasoline, oil, antifreeze, any other type of fluids, it's dealt with before it's stored on the site. And we can memorialize that on the plans.
And is there a particular area they get in that lot? Because that's a big lot. So is there any area they get particularly dropped at, like tow trucks?
Yeah, I think whatever's the open area within that parking area that they can,
Right.
you know, so it's probably as soon as they're coming in, probably within that front entrance row, I would imagine. That's where it occurs predominantly. If there's something wrong, it's unloaded and put right in the garage.
I mean, I've worked in a lot of areas and I've worked with a number of mechanics. My dad was a mechanic and they didn't check things as they're coming in. They just didn't do that. Wasn't part of what they do.
Put it over there.
So
I'll answer it
I'd
later.
be pretty surprised if I sit over there and watch and see. If that's what happens. I'd be surprised if that actually takes place.
I mean, if something gets stored on the site that's not checked and there's a leak, then they're responsible for checking those vehicles and they'll use the same oil dry absorbent to try to deal with the situation on that spot. If that's something else this board wants me to expand upon in the plans, I'm glad to do that as
Is
well.
that lot, there might, where the buildings are, I guess that's 23 and 25, 123, 25?
Correct.
Is that, I can't remember, is that paved?
Yeah, but that parking lot's
That whole
paved,
lot?
yes,
Is
yes.
paved there?
Cars,
Look at
you
mine,
can't
so-
see,
I couldn't see it, that's
Couldn't
why
see
there's so
it.
many cars there.
Alright,
Okay.
what are we?
Yeah, I think that's,
And then last comment, the applicant has provided the expanded part 3 EAF to address the items reviewed by the planning board. and identified in the Part 2 EAF as moderate to large impacts. The planning board should consider the responses and make a determination of significance for secret.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna focus, and I have not finalized my memos, because I got them on Friday. So I will finalize the memo based on this conversation and circulate it after the meeting. All right, so what I've added, is the applicant has provided a parking license for the use of the parking lot located across the street. License term is for 10 years through 2034 with a renewal option of an additional 5-year term. The site plan should incorporate a condition that in the event the lease is not renewed, the site plan expires. Because the site plan does rely on those parking spaces, and without those parking spaces, the site plan doesn't work. The licensed parking area should be for parking of staff vehicles only, not vehicles under repair, and that should be listed as a condition. The agreement calls for the installation of the fence separating the licensed parking area from the rest of the property. The fence is shown on the site plan. We just had a lengthy discussion about part of that fence. And it looks like it's already been installed. The license agreement provides that the licensor has the right to terminate the parking license in its sole discretion upon 90 days notice. Such notice of termination should be provided to the village. I'd like to see the lease updated to reflect that. So right now, the way I read the lease is that if Frontier decides it needs its parking lot back on 90 days notice, it can request its parking lot back. And then we have a parking issue.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my biggest concern with how the lease is drafted. It putting the shoe on the other foot as an attorney that represents private parties. It's a very traditional parking lease. Nothing jumps up and screams at me, but because the site plan hinges on this lease, you need to make sure that appropriate terms and conditions are listed in the approval. Should that lease fall through?
Do you have those conditions?
One that the village be listed as a noted that the lease provides that the village gets notice of any termination. And then if the property owner doesn't renew the lease, or the lease defaults under the lease and they exercise their right to terminate it. Effectively, the condition I see is revoking the certificate of occupancy, unless alternative parking can be established for the.
Well, now, this is the thing that Frontier is gonna be taken over by Verizon now for a little.
I can't speak to that, I can't,
Because their lease, would Verizon come back and say, we don't like this lease? I'm just concerned about you getting a lease.
Frontier can come back and say that, if they want to.
I mentioned the same thing about the 90 days, and they are coming back, it's a standard. They don't need the parking, they're not using the parking, it's not going to happen, but I understand your concerns.
I understand that,
and I can ask them to add that.
Yeah.
6 years from now, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, we want that spot, or.
I want to put a tower up.
We go through the same thing with shared like refuse, things like that. But, you can use our stuff over here. We went through that one, and it's.
If I could just add one comment to your comment, I don't know if the site plan should expire as opposed to, like, maybe the offices cannot be utilized. Whatever parking we would have that's utilizable, I would still like that to be, like, counted towards the site plan itself.
So here's what I'm gonna ask you to do. Figure out how much office space 25 spaces gets you, and what part of the building we can, the problem, my biggest issue is, once it's built, right?
Right, can't take that away.
And, whether it's this owner or another owner, if it's there, they'll use it. So how do you physically prevent somebody from using a space?
I can look at that calculation and see what that provides us in terms of office space, because remember, we're parking next door as well on 120.
The other thought that just popped into my head, and Dave, chime in if you think I'm crazy.
I would never say.
Where the car storage is currently, see how many spaces you can bank.
And then they'd lose their storage.
And then you'd have to, so I'm thinking quasi like banked parking. see how many spots you can get in there,
inside the illegal storage area.
inside on the site you control. And if you lose that,
That's your contingency.
that's my contingency, is I have bank parking. Something, let's see where that is.
So we'll look at the 25 spaces, what that counts towards in terms of open space.
Right.
And then we'll look at inside our vehicle storage area, potentially what else we can fit there, is that what you're saying?
But the plan is to show that, like, just like bank park, we're not gonna develop them.
Yes, I know, I understand the purpose of it, it's just for the interim use of the site.
And then the property owner, if that situation were to ever come to fruition, the property owner gets to decide which is more important, redoes the approval for a less intensive parking use and keeps the automotive, or reduces the automotive scale, and the owner can then make a decision which one's more important to their business model.
And Mike, this isn't just for, or is it, for the office employees? You're talking about all the employees are gonna use a lot of courses.
There's that
Annex and
calculation,
everything.
well, that calculation, so there are some spots provided on site. Not a lot, but there are some part.
But are they going away with the new addition?
They're on the other side of the building.
Okay.
Now, we have parking shown in front of our building and in the existing lot of 123,
Right.
you guys made us stripe it out. So we can
Right.
show exactly how many parking spaces we fit there.
Because you also, I think you have a couple more spots than you need.
Right.
Yeah, we might actually have more parking.
You have 6 more spaces than you need, so I don't need you to necessarily bank 25, so if you've got 25, that means you've got you've got 25 across the street, that means you have 9 on site, and I'm not counting, so then you only need to bank the difference. You don't have to, does that make sense?
Yeah, we'll take a look at it.
Build a parking garage.
Yes.
See, I'm not too crazy.
Not at all.
All right, now that we've answered that, and then landscaping plan, planning board to review and evaluate landscaping plan for conformity.
And the lighting.
I'm gonna put my pitch in for the landscaping. That was better than I thought we were gonna get, but I'll leave it up to you guys. I thought that was actually fairly creative from the landscape architect to take the island next to the parking space and to put something in along the frontage. They made the most out of the little amount of area that we had.
And you're talking about the cross street, Mike?
No, the landscaping for the proposed building.
It's the last sheet, right?
It's the last sheet. Yes. I thought we were only gonna be able to get planters in, but they were able to, just go over some little bit on the left-hand side, we were able to get a nice island.
Come on. Sorry, this is not my computer, and it does not like me.
Metal pointer.
Yeah, next time.
Laser, yeah, the red laser.
Yeah, right, laser.
Show up.
Oh, okay.
I've actually made that mistake before at one of these village planning boards. None of yours.
You couldn't see the red dot?
I put the laser pointer up on the screen, I said, I know better. It's not gonna work.
Well, okay, time out. Mine does great, because I can do this, I can scroll with my finger.
So anyways, we're able to squeeze some landscaping in over here, at least we're able to frame the building on the frontage of this building along Wall Street there.
And one of the other plan sheets, you also show the existing trees behind.
In the rear, yeah, we do have a good row of existing trees behind the property too.
What's that front showing, Mike? On Elm Street?
What are the plantings in?
Yeah.
If you scroll up just a little bit, the table will be right above it. That's some type of a maple, I believe, that's in the middle.
I might say to the right there, does that say the green? Look, that's it.
No, you have to go,
Oh,
you have to go up to the table, it's only just a little bit higher up that way.
No, the table's right here.
yeah, those,
That's a symbol legend,
Oh, I'm sorry.
okay?
What are we looking?
Planting table is above. Eastern redbud. I'll tell you exactly, so we got eastern redbuds, one eastern redbud tree that's right there. And then we're framed by some, trying to read here. Some Rolo sumacs. and some Japanese plumbing on the side.
And what are they gonna be put in?
That's gonna actually be a curved island. So you're gonna have a curved island.
Yep.
It's got soil in the middle with mulch and plantings, traditional style.
That's a,
And keep in mind, I went through this with the landscape architect, making sure that I can get cars in and out. So I did turning diagrams to make sure what like space I have that's realistically usable. That's pretty creative right
Is there a
there,
place for,
actually.
is there a place for snow removal?
You know, on this site, it would probably be towards the back. I mean, I'd have to ask how the
Take up
current.
spaces or something
Yeah,
like that?
they'd lose spaces where they're parking storage vehicles, they'd lose parking spaces, they'd push it up against the back of the building, lose the drive aisle behind the building. I'm sure that's what they're doing right now.
Mike is in front of the area that's got, this car storage here, I'll just come here. Not my computer, what,
It's winter.
it's not. Is there curbing along
We're
here?
proposing it now.
They're proposing it now, but otherwise it just bleeds into the street?
Yeah, right now it's open, there's no
Yeah,
curb
it's
there.
just-
The whole frontage is open on the street.
Yeah, so that's the view I'm looking, because when you come down there, that whole front is wide open, and all you see is cars, 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 cars. You know what I mean? So she didn't put anything on that plan to,
We don't really have room there, if, that's the issue that we have.
well,
I mean, if we can bring the site plan back up and take a closer look at it.
Which,
not having room for the applicant side is not an issue for us, you know what I mean? It's much more the community we're thinking about looking at
I
that.
mean, the only thing I could potentially propose there is you could do another fence over there that's privacy styles. Just along the front where the curb is, and we could put it on the inside of the curb. And we could block some of the view of the car, but I don't have room. If I put a 10-foot planting island there, you don't have, most places. I just, the whole point of doing all this, to try to get more space, to process what's on site more quickly, goes away.
Well, I don't know if you don't have an auto business,
Not,
you know.
we're gonna have one that's got more capacity than we can store cars in a parking lot, though. The whole point is we're trying to expand the building to process the cars that are in the parking lot,
I get
as
it.
opposed to build a bigger building that's gonna have, right, more space and I can put cars in the parking lot.
I totally understand that, and what we have to weigh that against is the community that lives there and what they're seeing with the
Understood.
more cars and more building.
And which is why I'm suggesting maybe we can put up some type of privacy fencing in that
Right.
location as well. I mean, that provides screening
Yeah.
and doesn't impact the applicant's business for what it's here for, is to try to process it more efficiently. If you don't like privacy slats in that location, maybe we can look at a more decorative fence, maybe we could do a vinyl fence there, but
How close would that be to the street?
it's gonna be on the other side of the curb. It's gonna be
Like,
close.
yeah, and then now when you
Plowing
think about
in
snow
wintertime,
removal,
yes.
it's just gonna destroy that
It's-
fence right there.
it is.
It's gonna, yeah, if you put a fence there, it's gonna be more of a hindrance than I
Yes.
think.
It's a good
That's
point.
why we were against landscaping for there, because it'll just destroy it.
Yeah, and anything I think the curb is probably the best
Well,
means of control to have.
That's control for the vehicles or for the plowing, but doesn't screen the property. And so if you live across the street from it, you know, or just down a ways, that's what we're talking about. You know?
I get it, but I mean, like, if you're
I think-
buying a house next to a cemetery, you're buying a house next to a cemetery. If you're buying a house next to an auto body shop, you're buying a
Right, but
house next to an auto body
what
shop.
you would expect if you did buy the house is for the planning board
have to do their
say,
diligence.
what are you gonna do here? Because you're expanding. You know what I mean? That's
I
the
get it,
difference.
but
So-
like, it's that, you know, like,
Right.
Yeah, in the beginning, it's gonna look great, but then once
First
the
season,
winter hits,
It's a good point he raises.
Yeah,
you know.
oh, I understand it, it would, you know,
The fence wouldn't last very long.
no, unless you set it back, and your argument
And
would
then
be
you're
that then we
losing.
lose some parking, you know what I mean? And then our role is, how do you weigh that out? Because that's, you know,
So how long is this, and I'm not asking this question like as a smart ass kind of question, but how long has this been in operation as an automotive business? And what are the residences that we're looking to screen it from? Can we go back on?
yeah,
They're
sure.
right across the street.
And now that,
I think I'm,
Residents.
that's fine.
now that it's a one-way, Mike, you gotta come past there to see it all, everybody that lives on that street.
Oh, is this now one?
Yeah.
So that runs, yeah, right there.
That is in, this one also?
Oh, yeah, right across the street. Is there one there?
Well, yeah, there's residents along that street there.
Corner there, yeah,
Here, let's
the
go.
bend.
Let's go further. There's a house.
Just, it's been in operation as such for a very long time.
I know,
I
but you
think
know, it's like anything else, right? For instance, and here's the role that we have, and I know you can appreciate it for what you do. But anytime you make a change to something, nobody can make you make the change until you need to make a change. Then when it comes before the board, that's when we'd say, okay, then let's upgrade this. So, for instance, with the veterinarian clinic, they didn't have a whole bunch of things paved. Well, if you're gonna do this, if you want this addition, you're gonna pave all of that.
Sure.
Right?
But in my experience, it's also a planning board's responsibility to mitigate to the best extent that they can.
Yeah.
And I think in this case, we're giving you the best that we can on a site that's really difficult. We have mitigated, we have provided landscaping that was never there. I mean, to request something that impacts the functionality of the business, that becomes
And what size
a
fence are you
difficult
thinking,
request.
Jeff?
What's that? I'm sorry.
What size fence are you thinking, like 4?
Well,
Yeah, I think
if you're
by
within,
code, I think
it has to be
four.
lower, it can't be higher.
4 or less.
I have to
Yeah,
double
I
check
mean,
the
and how
code.
much is that
I mean,
gonna
you can't put a
help
stockade
if
fence on the
it's,
front of a
6
property.
foot tall.
Well, I was gonna,
I mean, if it's less than 4
Joey, I was
feet,
gonna say,
No, it would be 4 feet.
someone that
Oh,
lives
4
there,
feet.
Yeah.
they
I'm
take
saying
care of
you
their
can go
property,
up
the hedges.
up to 4
Yeah,
feet
yeah.
in the front, that's
So
it.
you expect it across the street as well.
Yeah, 4
Right,
foot tall
yeah.
fence.
Of course, wait, we're in a, I have to
You can
check the
just see
zone
how
on
well
that,
it's
because-
maintained.
You should see my hedges
What's
the
the
same
zone
way.
where they're in? That's the, not the URN, right?
What, this site,
The site itself.
this site is,
Well, you know, also, like they were saying here, see how.
GB
See how
district.
this resident has taken care of their property? See how
GB.
they make sure that we want it to go along with the neighborhood, we just want it to match the
I don't want
neighborhood.
to, I've done nothing with this board but try to accommodate every request, and this applicant's been great.
100%.
And we'll continue to try to do so, but I can only oblige on what I have within my power and area that we use to do so.
Yeah, I get it.
So on this one, it just don't quite have much I can tell you that I can do with this legitimate here, but we have provided some, I thought we provided a better landscaping plan than even I thought we were gonna be able to provide. I thought we were gonna come here with some boxes and some planters and figure out, you know, how to make that work, and we did one step back.
You know, by any chance, if that trailer and that, like that white vehicle or cross, is that part of your property as well, or that's kind of not,
Is that a storage or
you
something?
know, you don't measure, okay.
I mean, from that photo, I could,
It doesn't look like, it. I'm just
No, I
curious, you
think
know.
that is part of that property.
Is it?
Yeah, because I think that property, if I'm remembering right, goes right to the
there's a
bend.
fence, hold on.
I'm just trying to think what could be done, the vinyl that comes out, so, you know, you're right, it is, but
Yeah,
it is.
yeah, that's part of it.
that's part of the lease.
Yeah.
So can something come right with that, where the pavement meets the shrubbery on the left, maybe a vinyl, I don't know. You just try to do something for the,
Just the problem is, we put it right up against the curb.
yeah.
Keep bringing it.
Well, no, I agree with him, I wouldn't put it up against the road either on Elm Street, you get destroyed, 100%.
And I think too, you know, obviously when you can see the grass growing up through the tires, it means the car hasn't.
They've been there a little bit longer.
The car hasn't moved
48
in a
hours.
long time.
Here comes the other thing we talked about on this side of the street. Do we want to block that front? Because now people can go behind there. There's no visibility of the parking lot, even from this standpoint. I don't know if anybody's taking any cars that are in disrepair, but it's still probably not very good to screen from the road.
Yeah, they steal airbags and
I mean, there's
Car-
those
catalytic
tires, whatever it
converters
is,
and-
and now we're screening the road again from this side.
yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't screen the road, I don't think, but. Just want it cleaned up, I guess, right, that's the only thing.
I mean,
A retractable fence.
Better than that.
Just build it
Oh,
into the
okay.
ground.
that's very different than that now.
Would it just, is it full of cars now? Is that what
Just a retractable fence. Build it into the ground.
Well, that looks like it's,
It'll pop
it's,
up.
it's gravel, that doesn't look,
Yeah.
that looks like it's cinders, it doesn't look like pavement.
Right, I don't think it is paved, but in my head it wasn't, but here's some of it is.
That's
That
gravel
looks
right
like
there?
cinders.
Yeah, I understand that, yeah, right.
Is that all gravel right
And
there?
it looks like cinder, you know that?
And four.
Yeah,
Crushed
But
stone.
this
Yeah.
picture, guys, this picture is dated 2017,
Okay.
Yeah, it's older, but I don't think.
so it's a 7-year-old picture.
Well, I mean, would you assume they did? I wouldn't, but I shouldn't say that. Maybe they have, I don't know, maybe they have to do that.
Mike, did
We
you?
were just talking
Yeah.
about possibly, maybe having, some, I don't know, planters or a hedge or something just off the curb, and maybe not the full width of, the full length of the road there.
Right, let it break,
Something
to break it up, yeah.
view of-
Yeah, I had more of a thought like that too. I don't like the idea of a fence, I don't like that, but it's like,
Grass or something.
this is a 2017 picture, so it's not exactly like that. Has this been paved since then?
Oh, yeah, this is big.
Right,
This is 2017.
yeah, this is older.
You're getting the short end of an old picture, sorry.
So,
You have to pull up Google Maps.
Again, something we can look at, we could put some grasses, but it's gonna be up against that curb, and again, when they plow in the wintertime with the road salts,
Yeah.
those plantings are not gonna last. I don't see them lasting more than a
No, it'd
season,
have-
and we can't go
right.
out there
It'd have to be
and
raised.
continually,
Yeah, it'd have to be raised.
and now I raise them too much, now I'm breaking plow. So,
Yeah.
Those ornamental grasses are pretty harsh. I mean,
Yeah.
you probably,
yeah,
you just put them a couple feet off the curb. It'd probably survive. I mean, you can talk to Karen about that, and they grow pretty tall. You usually just cut them down, in the winter, and they come back up.
Yeah.
They're 6, 7
There's
feet
nothing
tall.
there.
No, that they're suggesting.
Some of those are.
Mike, what was it? Oh, sorry.
Marcus grass?
No, usually you can cut them like 3 feet or something like that, and then they keep cutting
Yeah,
back.
they'll grow, they're hardy. I have those too, they're hardy.
But then you have then you see everything in the wintertime. So that you only have a blockage during the spring and summer, so that doesn't make sense.
You don't typically cut those all the way down flush with the ground, they're still usually probably,
You
I'd
cut-
say, 3 feet tall.
2 feet. I cut mine about 2 feet.
Might cut mine
Yeah.
down to a foot. I cut
You
mine
could do
Well,
either
it
or.
just depends on
But the
where
more-
they are. Some of them are really big.
If you let them grow, they grow
But what
larger.
I'm saying
Yeah.
is it's only a partial solution. You'll see it,
Well, you'll still
during
see
the winter.
the ones that are cut, you'll see them. You know what I mean? So
Well,
the,
you'll see everything parked. In the wintertime, you'll see, once those.
well, I don't
grasses
think
are
you'll
cut,
ever block the parking totally. I don't think you can do
Well,
that.
With a fence you can.
Yeah.
With a fence you can.
I prefer ornamental grasses over the fence. I think the fence is gonna certainly end up
What's the,
with structural issues.
what's the curb made of that you're intending?
Concrete.
Just a concrete poured.
Well, you can do asphalt curb, but I don't.
Oh, yeah. That won't make it. That will get destroyed.
I mean, we're putting the curb on a property that it's right up against the edge of pavement, even that curb is suspicious location. We're willing to show. What I might actually see, we want to pull the curb out. Get that extra 6 inches. Then is it worth it and make more room for the curb?
The concern without the curb is that it'll become one long open driveway, and I
Yeah.
think there's actually a code provision in our street specs.
Yeah, I think so.
I have to
too.
double,
But if you don't have the curb and a fence, you don't have a long driveway. If you have no curb and fence, you don't have that long open driveway.
Let me talk to our landscape architect, see if we can figure something out.
Yeah, see if there's something else they can think of and.
If we can break up a small portion
Yeah, something breaking it up would be,
The vehicular storage area.
Right.
And that's what I'm understanding. I'll see if I can get her to come up with something that she thinks will.
I think that might be, yeah, I think that's kind of what I'm thinking too.
Maybe like a partial, maybe it's, I don't know how many feet, how wide it is, but I'll work with her to figure out something.
All right, no, that sounds fair.
So, Mike, just be aware because of timing next month, unless there's more to discuss. Submission date is the 28th. We have a combined workshop, regular meeting,
One meeting in November.
one meeting. So that,
So it'll be a special meeting where we do business and workshop stuff.
so, because 14th is, Veterans, is, 11. It is 11th, sorry. 14th is this month's holiday, the 11th is Veterans Day. So the 26th would be our meeting.
I'm sorry, and that's
November,
26th.
Yes.
28th of October is the submission date.
Yes, but the actual.
And the meeting
It's gonna be the 26th.
of November.
Can we just check the calendar on that? Was that after Thanksgiving?
No,
No,
It's the week of Thanksgiving.
yes.
I'll-
26th, we're going?
26th.
Yeah. Special meeting planning.
Okay, any other items on this particular?
2 days.
No, I will get you, and I'm sorry, I just, not enough hours in the day, so I will, finalize the memo and I'll email it to you.
Okay, so we'll take a look at the, do you guys have any comments? It's a good point. Do you have any comments on the architectural plans?
Comments on what?
The architectural.
Hold on, I'll pull those up. That one, right? Yes.
That's the rendering.
That's the rendering.
Look how nice, there's no cars there.
Yeah, it's probably gonna, just scroll down. Go to that sheet. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. There's nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
How many bays?
Only 2 bays?
Yeah,
No,
only,
just at the end. See, there's a great
There's
big.
one bay at the end,
Oh.
there's 2 bays in the front.
This is the existing half. See, existing proposed. And then one big bay. at the
And that open one will go all the way, you pull all the way down through.
This one?
Yeah.
Not the other side?
Well,
Yeah.
look at the floor plan. That'll tell us for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, not the other side, okay, the stairs there. Just
So that's,
one.
that's the door that's all the way on the left end, so if needed, it could go all the way through to the other side.
Right. How are the bays in there, right, how are they gonna be when it's done? Where the mechanics are working?
I mean, it's just an open area, they place their toolboxes and wherever else that they need to normally.
They don't have lifts or
Probably- they're
anything?
probably
They do, but I mean, I don't know that I'm diagramming that out for the planning board.
Maybe
No, you don't need to.
Conceptual purposes, but for planning, for actual building permit, yeah, we'll probably show that.
Like 45 degrees when they walk right in, maybe. Right, so.
So go to the outside, please.
Just office space beside the garage. And Freeman says like 4.
That's the left, and then that's the right. And that's the
Back?
back.
Oh, so there's a garage there.
Pretty sure, it'd be an improvement over what's there now, for sure.
well, what's the siding, what's the outside?
Aluminum?
Is it just, it's not a metal building?
Yeah, I mean, we're just showing a standard kind of like block face for the building on the bottom portion. The upper portion will probably be some type of stucco of some sort.
We don't need it for the neg deck, but we will eventually need, a materials listing
Yeah.
for final approval.
And again, Mike, there's no 3D effect there at all, right? It's just all flat front.
Well,
Yeah,
there's
is there
no awning
anything
in the front, right?
protruding forward.
Right.
I don't believe so. I think the only thing might be,
Right here.
yeah, this spot right here, but not much. This is not a ginormous building either, that needs to be really broken up in terms of its depth either.
No, it's just the idea that it's like in a residential area, that's all.
We gave it a peaked roof with shingles. Which, you know, gives it, we've got double hung windows, so it's giving it some kind of
Yeah.
look while still making sure that it's, you know,
Yeah.
a garage, right?
Is there gonna be any signage or anything like that, or it's
that's-
another building?
The
or-
only thing we've shown so far is what you can see there with Upstate Collision. That's not guaranteed they want to put it up, but I made them put it on a plan for now, so we don't have to come back. But
Just be on the building, right?
it'd be on the building,
Yeah.
correct, right, where it's shown right there.
So
Yeah.
no
No.
independent sign.
No external independence.
No, no freestanding, no.
Is it auto body or mechanics? You said it's collision, so that's more of an auto body shop
I've
than a
been
mechanic.
using that terminology interchangeably. I presume they do mostly auto body. I'm sure they do some basic mechanic work within the building as well.
Okay, but they're.
I don't think they do transmissions and things of that nature, but they'll do basic, probably engine work like most auto body shops can.
And they're doing body work.
Body work
Yeah.
though, yes, for sure.
Is there a paint booth in there?
I believe there is.
Yeah, so have an aerial, have to be air,
Auto body
filtration
shop.
then.
They'll have to meet all those requirements when they submit for a building permit.
Okay, all
All
right.
that will be dealt with on those architectural.
Fortunately, we don't have to deal with that.
Yeah,
That's
that's,
good.
yeah,
All right.
Well,
That's Jim.
we should mention that it is, the paint and the smells are pretty heavily regulated, but from a seeker perspective, we should just, the applicant must, provide suitable, ventilation, to mitigate, cause I can tell you, I can smell water with auto body from my office.
I don't think there's no exhaust fans on that building that I can see that are,
Yeah.
exhausting anything out of it.
So they do, so we need to make sure that there's no.
Right, for seeker.
For seeker.
Glad that.
Any other questions from the board?
I'm good.
Unfortunately, I think I have one more to talk about, which is chocolate cheese.
Let's see what
Chuck E. Cheese?
Chuck E. Cheese. Let's see.
Did we at least put the two of you together?
I don't know if we did.
Yes, we did.
We did? Yeah, we planned it that way. Let's see. Okay.
Mechanic to baker.
All right, so that's it for that one. And so next up is site plan review for 562 Route 17 Choco Cheese. And so, Dave?
Okay, so again, as a reminder, the project is an amended site plan for a 53-foot, 10-inch by 35-foot building addition that is to be used for cold storage for the existing first floor bakery. Property consists of approximately 1 acre of land located within the GB district with access to New York State Route 70M. We have the following comments on the plans provided. Number one, as indicated in the land use determination letter provided by the building inspector, Cox, the proposed use of the neighborhood shopping center is an existing permitted use. Number two, based upon a review of the submitted short EAF, the application may be considered a type 2 action and is exempt from further secret review. Number three, the plan is subject to review by the County Department of Planning under GML 239, and a response letter has been provided. County Department of Planning has indicated that a variance may be needed due to an increase in the degree of nonconformity for the side yard. Prior determination has been made by the village's building inspector that a variance is not needed for the proposed addition, as the total required side yard would be 80 with one side meeting the minimum 50 feet, and the site will have 85 feet on one side and exceed the total of 80. Number four, plans were referred to the fire department for review and comment as outlined in an provided by Nick Gordon, Second Assistant Chief of the Monroe Joint Fire District. It was determined that the proposed addition will not affect their response or apparatus placement, and there were no issues with the addition. And number 5, signage has been provided on the architectural plans. Property is located within signage district number 3, where the maximum permitted area of sign for each linear foot of the building facing the street is 2 square feet of sign per linear foot of tenant space in the building, and the maximum vertical dimension is not to exceed 25% of the total height of the building. Proposed signage appears to meet these requirements. Signage shall be subject to review and approval by the village building inspector. And that concludes our comments at this time.
Thank you.
Yeah, I believe we had addressed, I think, most of the site plan related comments, if not all of them, so.
I don't have, anything new beyond what Dave has already said. I did start to pull together, a preliminary resolution for discussion tonight so that I could finalize it and have it, act on it at our regular meeting on the 22nd. This isn't, I'm not gonna go through all the application materials we have, but as you know, my customary form is to list all the documents we've reviewed. It is a type 2 action. It's a commercial space less than 4,000 feet, square feet. So our customary conditions, planning board chair is hereby authorized to sign the site plan after the following has occurred. And I would certainly reference Dave Higgins' memo as is customary, so the memo of today's date. Applicant to pay all fees. Confirmation by the village engineer and planning board attorney that the final site plan conforms to the terms of this approval resolution. Applicant to maintain signage indicating trucks over, and Mike, you're gonna remind me how big we can go?
Yeah,
I'll double check my notes.
Yep.
I was trying to do this relatively.
Dave, would you be, think W40s would cover?
Well, you had a sign on the plan, right? And it's a tractor trailer.
Yeah, tractor trailer.
I just, at some point, I need a dimension.
Yeah, it says no tractor trailers are permitted sign. Yeah, I mean, would the board prefer that instead of just no tractor trailer, something that sets maximum weight?
Well, I think you're just looking to add to the resolution.
I just, I thought the issue was the length.
The issue is the length.
Yeah,
Right.
Not just tractor trailers can't fit,
okay,
anything smaller.
okay.
Yeah, box truck is fine, yeah. They're gonna get deliveries, they have to be able to do that, I
Yeah,
think.
you're gonna get your Amazon and UPS
Box
trucks that
trucks are
go.
what, about 20 feet long?
25, whatever, yeah, and it beats 53, yeah.
Okay. I am not a truck
No, we
aficionado,
don't
so-
wanna see
That's
18
okay.
Anything up traffic. I'm all
18
for it.
wheelers coming across, trying to back in, stopping traffic.
You don't realize how big they are.
All right,
And we see that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
failure to restrict such traffic may result in a violation of site plan and revocation of the certificate of occupancy. And I just wanna be clear, because we had this situation come up in one of my other municipalities. Property owners agreed to a restriction on, and it wasn't necessarily for size of trucks, it was noise and timing of deliveries, because they had joined a residential. I said, okay, these are our hours of operation, their truck drivers violated it. The property owner and the applicant, they're responsible for the trucks coming in and out of their site. So if there's a violation, yes, the truck driver may have, VTL issues, but the property owner is also gonna have issues. So what I don't wanna hear is if there is a violation, I'm just the owner, I'm not in control. It's your site, you're in control, okay? And I'll make that clear, on the resolution. I'm gonna literally copy and paste, Dave's number 5 for respect to the discussion of signage. I don't know that it needs much more than that. I have here insert discussion on landscaping. So I don't know the applicant did provide some landscaping on the site, other than, you know, my infamous landscaping to be maintained in perpetuity, I think that's yours. And then architectural review, you did provide, sample colors which will be incorporated into the approval.
Potentially. And then the canopy, Mike, what are the dimensions on that? Coming off
Not
the,
this.
I don't remember
That's,
off the
that's
top of my head.
wrong building.
but it'll be on all of them going down.
Can I bring it
Can
up on
we
that
look at the
screen?
same thing and make sure?
Yep.
Hold on, let me
Give me 1
switch.
second.
I'm trying to take notes.
Mike, the
Andy,
eyebrow is
Vanna.
gonna be the whole length of the building.
Let's bring it up.
Yeah, we're bringing
Bring it
it
up.
up. Takes a little longer because they're not using a Mac.
You know, and I just, you know, you expect me to take notes, Andy Vanna White, it's a
You
little
are
hard
wearing two
to,
hats today, you are,
Right. Yeah, exactly.
it's 12 feet by something.
So, okay, now, you were asked a question?
So the canopy shown there, what you're calling a canopy,
Or the eyebrows, what you're,
or the eyebrow, right?
they want it all. Right now, it's only shown on that.
only the,
Right.
Right, so
So
we
wouldn't
took,
you repeat the canopy over each
yeah, why
door?
wouldn't you repeat the canopy all the way down?
I just wanted.
Are they doing signage there?
Yeah, that's potentially, yeah, so they showed one sign, because they'll all be different, so you don't have a sign that to put up there.
At the last meeting, we agreed that it would be from end to end.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
That's why I'm
I
asking.
thought that's what we said, yeah.
I'm just, at a minimum,
Yeah.
Right, I mean, each window, bay, whatever, yeah.
or one all the way
It could,
across.
it could be one all the way across, Mike, which is what we were talking about last time, or individually.
Alright, so what we had talked about was adding a roof last time, which we did, right? Like an overhang roof.
Right?
And we had talked about, I thought, trying to dress up these windows, which we kind of have. You're gonna have to refresh my memory on the eyebrows, because I think we put it where we thought it would work the most, which is to the left over there, but I don't think there was any anticipation of adding them anywhere else.
Yeah, so what we talked about was across the building, because of the lack of architectural dimension, it just, right.
Or at a
And
minimum.
you, yeah, and I think you were actually,
I was on board with that.
you were on board.
Yes.
You said, okay, we can do
So
that.
these doors aren't gonna, I mean, they're there, obviously, for a divisible storefront, I get that, they're not gonna be used by the current occupant?
I don't believe so. Those
So
are-
that's why that's,
That's why it's like
'Cause
that.
it
We
but I
only
get,
put-
like, it looks
We only
like-
put the eyebrow over what we thought was gonna be a used entrance.
Right, so what we were talking about last time, so that, I don't remember talking about, that at all.
Which entrance it even was.
Right, or which entrance it was. We were just talking about giving it more of a three-dimensional look, that's all. And so we talked about going right across, the whole,
I would take that straight.
Yeah,
yeah, just straight across.
or at a minimum, over each bay of windows. like-
Right.
And, like you said,
It's gonna be a whole lot easier. if we go
I would
across.
think so.
It's cheaper.
Cheaper to go
One-
across.
It's already doing, yeah.
And I think we thought of adding the roof in lieu of the eyebrows. Cause I don't remember we talked about the roof, we talked about the roof.
I don't think, I remember talking.
I don't remember
about
talking a lot about the roof.
Well, the roof does, yeah, we did, because it just was straight up
Right, we
flat.
just, no, we did, but it wasn't, we were
So you're
talking
right.
about,
The roof,
Our thought process was
dress the top windows up.
dress the top of the roof as opposed to the eyebrows. We thought it would be a bigger change, but we wanted to take a look at it. Be a more pronounced change.
I mean, it's certainly, it's better than nothing, it's a good start.
It's better
I mean,
than that, right.
If you did both, it would look really good.
Yeah.
I think that we would agree with that.
I do too, because that's still just straight flat across, you know? And do it, you like what? And doing one, I don't mean one there, but like, instead of doing individual windows, I'm thinking, when I saw the one, I'm thinking, oh, maybe do an individual. Something straight across, which is what we talked about last time.
So I don't understand why you would do five different signs if it's just one, if it's one cocoa cheese though, like why would you?
I think so
They're
we discussed-
placeholders.
Yeah, thank you. That's what we discussed at the last meeting, was just having something that's movable.
Okay,
So if we wanted to put a sign up, we could deal directly with the building department.
So if they ever decided to
break it up.
break up that space, subject to that
Yeah.
breakup not exceeding parking, they could do that.
Right.
You know, we even talked about, and in my notes, well, Tuesday's August 27th meeting, and I have a note here that Mike agreed.
Oh my God.
One,
He'll hold you to it.
one,
Should we take a motion?
the building color you were gonna come back with, and also the eyebrow from end to end the building on first floor. For additional 3D dimension on the building, Mike agreed.
Did Mike bring to talk about the roof?
I got nothing here, I have nothing here on the roof.
We shot ourselves in the foot by giving you the roof.
I have nothing, be honest, Mike, I have nothing here that we mentioned the roof.
Yeah,
No,
didn't-
we like
didn't
your
talk
idea about the roof, though. That's great too.
You shoot yourself in the foot.
All right.
But you agree from a 3D perspective, an architectural review, I got a note here that you agreed.
So I think, I don't wanna, I think we'll bestow the same courtesy if you can, cause our meeting's late and you won't be here. Get us something so that we can,
Yeah.
I think that's in architecture, taken,
So just look at reviving this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
This rendering.
bring something straight across.
yeah.
Perfect.
That's easy.
And I,
Doesn't require me to look that.
Right.
You know, I even think.
Drag that one
we-
end all the way to the other.
As an architect.
You know,
Yeah,
I even think we talked about with that eyebrow, at least when people pull up the park, if, once they get onto the sidewalk, they're covered from the rain.
Yeah, but how
it's so
much
high.
is that coming out?
The roof is so high. I don't
Yeah, the
know.
roof wouldn't do that.
Now, how much is the eyebrow coming out? That's what I mean, yeah, I don't know if it's gonna come out that far.
Is this
Couple of feet, right?
Yeah, a couple of feet.
okay, so I think what they're gonna do, because of the de minimis, they're
Yep.
gonna get that change to us to look at, and
Yep.
again, same
Good.
thing, please don't get it to us at 5 o'clock on the 22nd. So that we can have that discussion, and then, just going real quickly. I just wanna make sure, too many applications tonight.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. I've been taking them out.
Oh, yeah, I did. I just put it behind.
We got 3:30. This is
Did we
next.
have the addition of landscaping?
Yeah, yeah.
On this one? Where am I looking for it? Okay. So,
Yeah, that's all I have.
so we're not at, no, nothing new addition.
And there's grass in front already. As long as it's mowed, it looks good, I think.
Okay,
And it doesn't need anything.
okay, alright, so this application, the nature of the application doesn't warrant changes to the existing landscaping. Existing landscaping to be maintained. Is everybody comfortable with that? Right?
Oh,
Okay.
the grass, I think it
Yeah,
should
as
be
long as
maintained.
I,
Yeah. Yeah, no.
okay. We will fix our discussion re-architectural review once we have it, I'm gonna type this more artistically. Usual, if work's not done within a year, if the approval expires. Are there any other conditions the board wanted to consider? And then I'll include the architectural.
Right.
What's the lighting address?
Lighting.
To see lighting used, and I think, LED is replaced, and I wanna say 3,000 K is the next one.
Okay, so I'll insert a discussion regarding what,
3,000 K seems like what most people like nowadays, they don't need it. Like speak for you, if you want 4,000, you can do that as well, but 3,000 K seems to be the warm light, look, less intrusive.
Yeah, not too bright.
Still gets the same light,
Yeah.
just a different color.
Mike, I have a dumb question. The photo, because it looks like you took a photo of the existing building and then superimposed, shows a fairly old dish. Is that actively being used, or is that being removed? And it's an old pit. I just, if you're not using it, I don't think it's. Is that being used?
That's for aliens,
I'm saying it.
which there are aliens. So.
I guess we'll find out.
If it's not being removed, it would be lovely. If it's not being used, I would remove it because it would make the building look even better. There's nothing worse than an old beat up satellite dish, you know.
Yeah.
Crooked, rusted.
Doing work anyway.
That's easy to check. Just gotta make sure it's not being used.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most likely not. So I had a discussion with Mr. Bush here, just to reiterate what the board discussed before, we're looking for the eyebrows above each. When, in this case, it's gonna be a window, we're not gonna do that middle door in their office. We can't do that.
Do what to the middle door?
So, that door in the
Right.
middle, I can't have an eyebrow on top.
Why?
Why not?
Actually, right, good.
You go all the way, but you're going all the way
But if you
across.
just
What
take it
happens?
straight across.
All the way across.
Yeah, just one,
I'm thinking we do one individual for each.
it's up to you.
At a minimum, I would do that, but I think it would be best the whole way. It might be easier as
I
well.
think it actually looks better if it's individual, because you're more broken up look.
I don't disagree with you,
I don't disagree with that either.
but I think either one to look at for us would be kind of like, if it's easy enough.
If we did individual, I would have left the door out, but if you want to include the door, it's only gonna be
It would be weird,
like that,
yeah.
if you follow what I'm saying.
Uh-huh.
3
I don't know
feet,
if
yeah.
that makes
So
sense.
connect the third and the fourth brow.
The two middle ones go all the way across, I like that idea. If you were to do like individual ones, go from
From the left middle of the door.
3 to 4.
Right middle of the door.
Right, left to right.
Just
1, 2,
one
3.
across
Yeah,
to
just
all
one
three.
across the 2 units.
Yeah, all the way, yeah.
Yeah.
They would look uniform. Unless you went the whole way.
Have the architect play with it a little.
Yeah.
Mike, structurally, it'd be a lot easier for you to go straight across the whole building.
Probably cheaper.
Yeah, I like
But I like individual.
ones.
I do too. Yeah,
It would look pretty.
I think that'd be better.
It would be very like.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it would. I would agree.
Put some hi-hats in there.
Yeah, down lighting, sure.
Something, can we take the roof down?
No, your foot's already got a bullet in it.
You don't need a roof.
Alright,
And now you have both covered. It would look good. It really would look a lot better.
Yeah, look good.
so I think you have your homework, and then if you can get that to us quickly, we can discuss it and hopefully finalize this. I'm not making any guarantees at the 22nd, otherwise it'll be at the November meeting, yeah.
Okay,
Okay?
all right, thanks for your time.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
Okay.
All right. Next up is 3:30 stage. I see David. How are you, David?
Doing good. Yankees and the Mets are in the series.
Do you believe the Mets?
Buffalo's
Look at that.
amazing Mets.
Is there a
Surprising, very surprising.
Is there a score right now?
Buffalo's doing good.
For who?
Aaron Rodgers
Yankees are playing
and the
right now.
Jets could use a little work, but
You got banged up yesterday.
oh,
Put some more.
Yeah, yeah.
World's up.
we don't want to repeat that tonight.
No.
Just leave that for yesterday.
Yeah. 2-1.
So we're happy to be here for the boarding. I hope you have our submission from about 10 days ago. I think that's when we submitted. And in that submission, we addressed the comments that were outstanding, particularly from Green Plan, and in addition from Lincoln Tully and Elizabeth's comments. We were able to survey the property, have the wetlands in this case, not flagged because there's no wetlands on the property. We had the floodplain addressed, and McGooey House and Etzel had done a plan and a memo showing how they would be able to mitigate any floodplain impacts. We addressed the lighting, I believe, by assessing the lighting that exists and showing the photometrics on how it extends out into the parking area. We relocated the dumpster as requested to get it out of the side yard. And I just was handed Dave's comments. So, also with Green Plant's comments, they asked for revisions on the long form EAF, which we submitted, and I don't see any comments on that, so I'm hoping that's satisfactory.
So to be fair, David, our secretary was gone, so our professionals got their memos a little bit, got the information a little bit late. So I didn't hear back yet from Green Plant, from Ted, but I'm sure we will. So, and Dave, you want to go over yours?
Sure. Okay, comment number one, the land use determination indicates that the proposed automotive repair is permitted in the GB district and subject to a special use permit following 200-51. The existing lot area, 45,398 square feet, is less than that required for the combined uses, 60,000 square feet. Plan now proposes the consolidation of tax lot 213-1-30 and tax lot 213-1-32.1, which will now meet the required lot area. Consolidation of the lots shall be a condition of any site plan approval. And that's been like that for months now, but we just want to make sure that the consolidation is done.
And we agree.
Number two, floodplain and floodway boundaries have been shown on sheets C1, C2, and C3 to identify any disturbance within the areas. Disturbance within the floodplain will be subject to a floodplain development permit to be obtained from the village building department in accordance with chapter 107 of the village code. Number three, wetland boundaries have been provided in sheet C1-1, and a note has been provided stating that there are no disturbances to the wetland areas proposed. Number four, a landscaping plan has been provided consisting of 26 boxwood shrubs and 6 dogwood trees. Planning board should review the plan for adequacy.
Which, if I may comment, we increased the amount of landscaping from our previous submission.
Number five, this application requires referral to the Orange County Department of Planning based on its proximity to the Orange County Heritage Trail. I can't remember if we got reviews back from the county.
Let me look in the folder. But keep going.
Okay. Number six, project is subject to architectural review board review and approval. Number seven, cover letter indicates that a floodway analysis, mitigation plan, and memo has been prepared by MHE Engineering and submitted for review. Although the plan was received, no memo was provided. So there's a separate memo.
There's a memo. I just checked my cover letter. We had it listed as an enclosure, so whatever happened, we'll resubmit it tomorrow. We'll send it out electronically, but we do have it now.
Okay. Number eight, the flood mitigation grading plan has been provided. This plan should be signed by a New York State licensed professional engineer. Number nine, flood mitigation grading plan proposes the use of modular flood control barrier kit provided by Garrison Flood Control. Is this intended to be a temporary measure or a permanent one?
Temporary.
Number 10, an analysis complying with section 107 of the village code should be provided to accompany the plan. And presumably that may be the memo that you referred to? Yes. Okay. And then again, just as the chairman mentioned, our review was limited just due to the limited amount of time that we had available between when we received the materials and last meeting. But we further in the review. Okay.
Yeah, we're happy to be on the board. Usually, Terry sends out a acknowledgement that you're on the meeting, and
We weren't that organized.
It was left to me and Liz, and going through Terry's stuff. It was very organized, but we just didn't understand it.
so my apologies for being a little bit. I didn't know the meeting, but anyway. So we agree with all the comments. We're ready to move ahead. The only thing I would ask of the board is item number 6, the architectural review. We're not proposing any renovations or modifications to the exterior. So how can we assist in answering that question to the board's satisfaction? Perhaps we could take pictures of the existing exterior and add that as a document, so you have verification, or you have some kind of documentation to show compliance with the.
Are you painting, doing any sprucing up on the outside? They've gotta be doing sprucing up on the outside, paint or something?
I'm being told no, not at this time, because we're not changing any of the exterior openings. All the overhead doors exist, the man doors exist. So right now, at the moment, I'm being told that we're not proposing any modifications.
But it needs to be cleaned up, either painted or something, because it's not, you can see the building is old.
Yes.
And we acknowledge that. However, I think it could be painted at least to have at least a fresh look, a clean look. Right now, it's looking a little grungy, you know? And it's been empty for a long time.
Marilyn, that's a valid point.
Yes,
Let me
nice.
talk to them.
Nicely.
And then we would like to see what's planned to be done.
The color of the
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
no eyebrow.
No, you have
Not on this one. You know, I really don't see that as a showstopper. I can go back to the owner and
It's on
discuss
the
it.
corner, yeah, I mean, it's a corner of the village, you know?
That's true.
It's a busy corner.
That's,
So it could use a little bit to make it attractive, that people would want to stop there, you know what I mean? Well,
So, auto body shop, another auto body shop now? Will there be cars all in the back there?
See that?
I just noticed again now, yeah. So, Dave, real quick question. So the auto body shop, that's on the bottom floor, right? The ground floor?
yes.
And then in the basement level, that's on the bottom floor as well, correct?
Correct.
So the whole top is furniture store now?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Storage for all the cars, that'll be where on the 17M on the back side there, or auto body?
Yes. Actually, we look at our parking counts, we definitely exceed the amount required. In fact, we even differentiated between what's proposed and what's existing. So we show that in our parking counts to help detail the plans. And we far exceed what's being required.
Where's the auto body gonna be on that?
Right here, see
Alright, so you're gonna be storing cars there, and again, that's a major thoroughfare, and we're gonna be seeing cars stored there? We just went through this with somebody else. If there's gonna be an auto body, there's gonna be cars. There's gonna be cars that are sitting, that we don't want sitting. And we're gonna be seeing them from a major road in Monroe, so what can be done about that?
Well, we, definitely 17M is a higher elevation, than this site. I'm anticipating that the work will be done inside the building.
No, there's always cars outside.
I agree. But yet the zoning code allows that amount of parking spaces, so it's not.
That's not part, it's storage, that's.
Well, no, we're not, whoever used the word storage, that would be erroneous. There'll be no storage of cars. It'll be a constant transition. The work is done, people come pick up their cars and take it away.
So we would have the same wording as we have on.
Yes, and it's in your code that there's a restriction.
That's right.
That only 5 cars can be there for more than 48 hours, otherwise they cannot be parked longer than that, and that would be a restriction of the site and a condition. So that's in the special permit regs, so that's 51A0, 51O, that we just had the discussion on Elm Street. Check 51, it's one of the last ones, I think it's out.
We agree, we'll be compliant.
I think like the other, this is a different applicant, but obviously, like the gas, the oil being leaked, the ramp hose right there, as long as there's like a mitigation to trap or contain or whatever, cars that are coming in off of an accident or,
Yeah, I mean, it is Freeman's Auto Body that's the proposed tenant.
Okay.
So they know how, in speaking with them, they will be recycling oil for the most part, so they know how to collect it, recycle it. Interestingly, the building originally was Freeman's Auto Body. So it's constructed already to house that type of use. Now, obviously, when we get to the building permit phase, we'll have to add some things to help satisfy the building code. But right now, for planning and zoning, the building does comply with whatever would be needed for an auto body shop.
Well, and how about screening, because they're gonna be wrecked cars and they're not gonna necessarily wanna see it from 17M there. We're gonna, I mean, they're gonna be there, and they're gonna be parking between the building and the main thoroughfare, so we're gonna see wrecked cars. So what I'm asking for is some kind of screening.
Oh, okay, so there's no parking between the building and the main thoroughfare. The parking is behind the building. It's not.
What do you say, behind is this way, this is, if you go to the side of this building, the road's right there. How are you, yeah, it's right there.
Yeah.
We're gonna see wrecked cars from that road. So what I'm asking for is screening again.
Okay, so why don't I talk to the owner about providing some additional vegetating buffer along here?
That would be lovely.
Might be that simple, even a
Something-
vinyl
something
fence,
that
6
simple.
feet.
Yeah,
There is an existing screen.
Okay, yeah.
there is? Oh, okay, if there's some, as,
Was there existing there,
Yeah.
you received a planning board approval.
okay, as
So
as
when
long
I-
as it's,
I'm sorry,
go ahead, Liz.
Barbara, you finish, I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
that's fine, go ahead.
What I would suggest, because you were here for the conversation on the other auto body shop, is the similar considerations. The cleanup of all, because those are all gonna be the same, cleanup of, oil spills and things like that. Those same discussions should be incorporated into your materials. And then just, please make sure you take a look at, section 51. So, of the 200-51 are the special use, permit regs, for auto bodies. So you'll be required to comply with. So just take a look and make sure your plans do, and also your tenant's operation complies with it, because some of it's operational issues.
I have one question, if I can add real quick. Dave, what's the nature of the structure where those like 6 parking spots are? I know years ago that kind of was a collapse. Have they even looked at that just for safety reasons, or right on 17 where the light would be on the left-hand side? There's probably like 5 or 6 lights right in the front of the building.
Are you talking about the retaining wall?
Where the retaining wall kind of was, that big, yeah.
Over here?
I believe that's how it would show. Yeah, would that be where they
Looks
are?
like the asphalt's falling down.
Yeah, like it's kind of looks like that little guardrail kind of looks like it looks scary. I just don't know if anyone's ever looked at it or engineering.
We show some repairs over here,
Okay.
parking stops along there, and
Yeah.
also, if you go to another plan, we're showing a fence along there.
Okay.
To kind of hide, just as a barrier between the parking. This is the lighting plan,
Okay.
if we can go to the C2 plan, if that's possible.
Man of white, extra
Got a lot of hats on today. Got a lot of hats. That little area, there's like the front 5 or 6 spots in the front there. Just make sure it's safe.
That's like a guardrail.
Yeah, a little guardrail. Looks like it's kind of like
C2 is the second sheet.
Yeah, yes, please.
I think it actually collapsed years ago. Sand or something.
The files are heavy, they are hard to move, there's no question about it.
Well, I'm also working with a relative dinosaur of a computer that wants to, I'm going. C2, okay, let's see if I can get center and make it useful.
Is that where it would be? Yeah, so the light would be kind of like right to the left, right?
Over here.
Do I have my bearings straight?
The light is
Or up a little bit and then,
it's almost where your arrow, black arrow, comes
oh,
down from the black
okay,
arrow,
okay,
your
yeah.
light's there.
So it is those spots, I was just, just making sure they're just safe. I mean, I know, like I said, I think years ago, they when it come down, I know, Sandy, or one of the storms years ago, and it hasn't really been occupied since then, I almost feel like, so as long as they've done some sort of engineering on it or something.
Well, the auto body is gonna be there. Where's the entrance on the auto body?
Over here.
Over there. Okay, because as long as you don't park on this side of the building, you can just put a fence at the corner to the there. You can, and that would, a high fence would cover your cars. As long as you don't park over this way, right?
No, the problem, Barbara, from there, if you're going from 17, because I live right there, from 17, you're looking down.
Yeah, so they could put a high fence there.
Yeah, but you're not, the only way you can put a high fence is to not see that is across, is like on 17 itself. You're
Well, that's what I'm thinking, if they go into that corner, if they push
Yeah,
the
you're
cars
right.
back and then put in maybe a 6-foot fence, that, I think that's the best.
Kind of like what he showed already, I think there might be something there, that just,
No, that's a short fence.
yeah, sure, yeah, but if you go a little higher,
Is that where I'm talking? Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
but the thing is, 17's a little higher, so you may have to make a, you know what, I'm gonna look tomorrow. Yeah, get a better idea. I
So
won't
you
go
know what I'm more concerned about, Dave, and I don't know what you looked at, that's why I was interested in Ted's, and Ted hasn't responded yet, or that I've seen to your stuff, because he just got the stuff as well. But, because going by there, if you see, when we get those torrential rain, that's flooded down there.
Yeah,
Like, that's underwater, where those cars, those parking spaces, they go underwater.
That's why, well, there's no doubt. I mean, that's why MH&E did the floodplain mitigation plan. I believe the pond that they're proposing is about 130 cubic feet of water. So that's a substantial amount. And along with their memo, they're affirming that this should handle any water encroachment upon the building.
Right. Is that something you've reviewed, Dave?
I haven't had time to review.
Not yet, yeah.
I mean, it took a quick look at the.
I got you, yeah,
Not
okay,
what needs to be-
right, yeah.
And you have to review the memo.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
And we'll get that memo out again tomorrow.
Perfect.
so from a procedural, standpoint, and again, I have not had a chance to, get through, everything. We have 239, I went through the file, at least as it is on OneDrive, and I don't see any evidence that it was referred, so we need to do that referral. Agencies would be Orange County Department of Planning as well as New York State DOT. Does it need to go to DEC as well, Dave? Maybe. All right, so we
Well,
also.
there's no wetland disturbance, right? And disturbance is less than.
It's less than half an acre. In
I
fact,
don't think you need a DEC permit then,
Okay, no protection of streams, anything like that?
if there's no wetland disturbance, I don't believe so.
Okay.
just to put your mind at ease,
I have a
we
question.
showed a total limits of disturbance at 17,000 square feet. And that includes anything associated with the pond, this construction.
Anybody else who need permits? Because the reason I'm asking not only for 239 referral is we have not, made any declaration, or we were awaiting the revised EAF. And the question becomes, are there other agencies that we need to declare intent, or are we assuming lead agency right off the bat?
Ted was reviewing the resubmitted EAF, I assume, right?
I
Yeah,
have a call
we
with
just
him to
haven't-
make sure.
Yeah.
The list of agencies that would be involved to be noted in that.
Well, originally, one of Ted's comments was no, because again, we didn't have the plans, Army Corps and DEC, the applicant is representing that there is no disturbance and that those agencies are not triggered. I would like Ted to confirm that. On the theory that he does confirm that, we would then be the sole approval agency in that regard. There's no DOT approvals, anything like that. So we would assume
no endangered habitat on, came up on EAM?
There's always a danger.
Go to bat.
The long-eared bat. What about the long-eared bat?
Yeah,
Pretty much.
they're endangered.
We just take a look at the EA out there.
So then, at our meeting on the 22nd, okay, so we do have threatened species.
Yeah.
Also came up for National Register of Historic Places.
Yes, because it's contiguous.
Archaeological sites, yes. Wetlands, yes. Floodway, yes. Let me just see.
And I think, David, we asked Jesse, I'm not sure we got it filled out, that he was gonna fill out the historical, or he didn't have to do that?
You're wrong site.
Wrong one. I'm on the wrong side.
Wrong site.
I'm on the other
Wrong
one, sorry.
project, wrong project.
I just confused them.
Actually, just to answer that question, we did fill that out.
Okay.
So.
Wrong project.
Yep.
Yeah, the EAF that was submitted just indicates Village of Monroe Planning Board, Village of Monroe Building Department, Orange County Department of Planning.
But this does, because it's contiguous, I think, because Ted was saying that too, there's something, I guess they have to look at. Because it's right up against the historical.
Yeah, usually it would be,
A letter.
correspondence to.
Letter from Shippo.
Shippo. And Chris. Yeah.
The problem is when you do the mapper looks at it from 30,000 feet, and yes, there are things nearby, so he has to, it's incumbent on him to say, no, it's not us.
Right.
Same thing with the floodway. Yes, he's close to it, and parts of the floodway are on the property, so he has to show that the project's not impacted. So, so then we'll be in a position to start the secret process, and the plans are probably far enough along that we can refer them out for 239, as well as while we're making those referrals, we'd probably refer them to emergency services.
And anything that, if Ted adds, even though there's no permits required with DEC or Army Corps, they could certainly send the lead agency notes out to them as well.
Right.
Right. Okay. So we will, those are the actions, so 239, emergency referrals, and start secret.
And as soon as we get Ted's, we'll forward it. Right. Terry's back tomorrow.
Any comment letters that we appreciate. So at the 22nd meeting, the formal meeting, will declare yourselves lead and send everything out to 239.
Assuming there are no other involved, assuming I don't confirm there are no other involved agencies, if
Yeah.
that will declare our intent.
Okay, great.
And circulate.
Great.
Just a follow-up question. The proposal will require an engineering confirmation for the filing of the floodway. Will that floodway create, and again, what they're seeing right now is only temporary, okay? Something else is going to be put there, I'm assuming, David. Will this create any additional flood issues downstream of the property?
Well, that's what the McGoey-Hauser memo should be addressing.
That's Ted's memo.
No, the applicant has retained an engineering firm, McGoey-Hauser and Edsel, to prepare a plan. We have seen the plan.
That's the engineering confirmation that we need.
And there's a memo, which Dave is in the process of reviewing, so that's what should be in the memo.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what Dave is going to comment on. Dave is going to review, and
He just didn't get to that, to do that full
and
review.
I think there's an issue of whether we got all of it. I got a McGoey-Hauser cover letter, which was in the same file as, but I don't know that it wasn't heavy engineering. It was a brief discussion.
Yeah, I just received the plan, I didn't see EMH&E letter.
Check the OneDrive. Maybe it's when I separated.
Yeah, I ran out of time.
As did I. If you look on the McGoey-Hauser on the OneDrive, there's a letter. I don't know if that's the memo they're referring to, because it's short, it's one page.
Yeah, that's the memo that we're referring to.
Okay, then you might need a little more from them.
we're gonna have to review it, I'll have to review it against the village code. There's
Does-
parameters in there for, issuance of the floodplain disturbance permit.
And is it signed, sealed by a
I
registered
think the plan
engineer?
that we received wasn't, I think that was one of my comments, that it
Mm.
needs to be signed by a licensed professional engineer.
That'll be a
And,
condition,
Right, yeah.
okay?
Okay.
All right.
Those were notes dating back to July 8th.
Okay.
So, we thank you for, doing this on the 22nd, and I'm hoping that as everything goes well, we can, at the following meeting, or subsequent meeting, go to a public hearing and have it.
Yeah, and the other, just so you know, David, I don't know if you were here when we were talking about that, but there's only one meeting in November, it's the 26th.
Oh, right after Thanksgiving, okay.
Yeah, same week as Thanksgiving. So it's during that week, because it's, I guess,
Veterans Day.
Veterans Day on the 11th, maybe? Is it 11th?
It's always
Meeting in November.
Just one, it'll be both, it'll be a workshop and
11/11.
One and done.
one and done.
There you go. I'll take that.
Official.
It's good seeing everyone. Have a
Good to
great
see
day,
you.
guys.
Thanks, Dave.
Have a good one.
Be well.
Next, we have 59 Gilbert. So, David, do you want to go through your? And what's your name?
My name is Barry Stern, Vice President of Global Fire Prevention, and we are seeking to do a building back for storage
Right.
for our fire sprinkler and fire alarm equipment. Since years after COVID, it's very hard to get material, and we're trying to get more material, and we can't store it outside. So we're trying to get a building to get the stuff in the building so we can buy stuff and stay in business.
Okay. David?
Okay, thank you. I'll just start with the project description and go from there. Project involves the construction of a new 8,700 square foot warehouse building on a 1.3 acre parcel in the GB zoning district. Property is currently developed with an office building. The submission indicates that the proposed warehouse is to be used as an accessory to the existing office building that is currently being occupied by a sprinkler installation company. The new building will be used for receiving shipments, coordinating crews for work, and providing necessary room for the storage of larger orders to alleviate supply chain issues. The applicant has identified an area variance as being needed due to the combined area requirement of the two uses, 80,000 square feet, and the area of the property available, 60,354 square feet. We have the following comments on the plans provided. Number one, per section 200-26.2B, requirements for accessory structures. The accessory structure cannot be larger than the primary structure. As the proposed warehouse building is larger than the existing principal structure, variance from the zoning board of appeals is needed. The need for variance has been noted on sheet 3 of 4. Number two, the property is adjacent to the URM, Urban Residential Multifamily Zone District, located to the south of the property. The zoning district boundaries have been added to sheet 1. However, the leader identifying the subject property is not obfuscated by the shading of the zoning district areas and should be adjusted to make it visible. Number three, the landscaping plan for the project has been provided on sheet 3 of 4 and consists of 12 shrubs and 2 trees. Planning board should review the adequacy of screening provided for the adjacent residential uses. Number four, the village has adopted local law number 4 of 2024, also known as the Environmentally Constrained Lands Law. The zoning table should be revised to account for any such environmentally constrained lands. The plan should also depict any such constrained lands. Per section 4.d of the local law, during site plan, subdivision, special use permit application review, the planning board shall require that development areas be located so as to avoid these constrained lands from disturbance. To the maximum extent, development shall not be sited on, nor shall development disturb areas constrained as set forth above, unless waived by the planning board due to the unique nature of the parcel, and that such exclusion would render the parcel undevelopable. Planning board, as a condition of approval, may require the imposition of map notes to ensure that these requirements and any conditions limiting development are met. Number 5, the bulk table should be revised to eliminate plus or minus for the side yard and rear yard, where exactly 20 feet is proposed for the new warehouse. While it is recommended that some allowance be provided in the location of the proposed structure for tolerance and construction, the applicant proposes the building with a side yard of 20.0 plus or minus feet. 20.0 plus or minus feet rear yard with no tolerance for error during construction. Number 6, applicant should provide ADA access to the proposed warehouse office building, complete with details for signage, striping, and grade elevations. Number 7, plans should be referred to emergency services for review and comment. Number 8, grading plans should be provided with proposed contours and spot elevations. It appears that the building is intended to be built into steep slopes located at the rear of the property. Grading should be provided to maintain a minimum of 5% slope away from the building foundation for a minimum of 10 feet. Number 9, note 12 on sheet 1 should be revised to note that the property is within Monroe School District. Number 10, existing additions on sheet 2 should be certified by a licensed surveyor. Number 11, parking stalls should proposed on sheet 3 measure approximately 9 feet by 13 feet, which is less than that required by the village code, 9 feet by 18 feet. Details for the striping of parking spaces should be shown on the plan. Number 12, pipe materials and invert elevations for the proposed sewer should be shown. Number 13, diameter and material of the existing water service should be provided. Applicant's design professional should evaluate the existing water service capacity to serve both buildings. Number 14, total area of proposed disturbance has been indicated on the plan, 17,508 square feet. The boundaries of the disturbance area should be identified on the plan. Number 15, project requires referral to the Orange County Department of Planning based on its proximity to the town. And number 16, regarding the short EAF, which had previously been provided, the EAF indicates that the proposed building is for storage only, which is in conflict with the narrative that indicates a portion of the building will include an office space for a warehouse manager. Question 2 should indicate the need for a zoning variance from the Village Zoning Board of Appeals. Question 10 indicates that building is for storage only and that no water will be provided. Water service is shown on the plan. EAF should be revised as needed. Question 11 indicates that building is for storage only and that no sewer will be provided. Sewer connection is shown on the plan. EAF should be revised as needed. Question 16 should indicate that the project site is located within the 100-year floodplain. Question 17 should indicate that stormwater discharges will flow to adjacent property. And then number 17, the planning board may consider scheduling a public hearing pending satisfaction of these submitted reports. I had an updated plan, but I didn't see an updated EAF. I had a revised
The
plan.
engineer's comment letter said EAF to be submitted under separate cover, we never got
But I
it.
didn't see the EAF.
No, we didn't. And I'll give my updated, comments. The response, this is going to the, constrained lands, the response read funny. We feel that we're not disturbing land. The code requires you to evaluate and identify what are identified as constrained lands, that's steep slopes, floodplains, anything like that. Your plans do indicate that there are, the 100-year floodplain is on there and a portion of the site needs to be deducted, and those calculations are necessary for purposes of your variance.
There's some steep slopes as well.
Yeah,
Right.
steep slopes as well, yeah. So, I'm gonna add that to my note. I have not, I'm not as good as Dave, so I have not finalized my comment on all. So those deductions need to be accounted for in accordance with the code. Recent submissions indicate that EAF revisions will be submitted under separate cover. Upon receipt of such submission, the planning board can adopt a resolution to declare its intent to be lead agency for purposes of seeker. I'm recommending a coordinated review, because this needs to go to the zoning board of appeals, like we have done with other applicants. We would finalize our seeker review before the zoning board of appeals could take action, so that we would complete seeker that way. Property adjoins a residential zone, planning board to address adequate buffering and the required parking and loading setback. See section 200-44I, parking has to be buffered 10 feet. My specific concern is loading, which is 200 feet, with respect to the storage unit, how are trucks getting materials in and out of the storage building? So that will need to be addressed, and given the way the zone is, I have concerns about meeting that 200 feet. And then planning board to address landscaping.
Okay. Does the board have any other additional comments to that?
This is the property here, right? That's basically what we're looking at?
Yeah.
That's, they want to put the building right there, in front of this house right here, right?
I
Not the
can call
idea.
What kind of deliveries are you gonna be getting there? Like what's,
Yeah, jeez.
Both on trailer of pipe.
like tractor trailer?
So
Truckloads of pipe.
Tractor trailer, yes.
Yeah, and you're gonna be able to get tractor trailers in through that?
So you'll need a
That's a tough
loading bay.
spot.
Yeah, so the front of the new building has a loading bay. Now, we are getting
Gilbert
out
Street's
trucks,
tiny.
and it's not going to be different than we have now.
Well, but the problem is you're adding.
I'm adding storage because I shouldn't have the stuff outside leaving, having it outside exposed to the sun, because then all the pipes and garbage are
Do you know what the existing size of the 59 Gilbert Street building is right now, as far as square footage?
5,000-6,000 square feet.
5,000-6,000?
Yeah.
You want
Most of that side is offices.
a little bigger.
All I'm proposing is that building should be sheltered from the sun and people to go. I want to keep pallets and stuff outside, so this is going to be inside, and that's basically matching it into the environment, color, the same color of the building. So it's you keep it inside and back.
Almost 9,000.
Change the dynamic.
Right there, and then you gotta get trucks.
Right, no, we understand that, it's just a matter of meeting all these.
Yeah, the comments of
Yep.
the other comments, so it's going right here.
You just, your plan has to, Dave, and you can correct me if I'm, the materials have,
He's occupied.
the materials have to get from a truck, one way or another, from a truck into the storage building. I'm assuming that's by way of a loading bay of some ilk, either a loading zone or bay or whatever. But the code, under our parking provisions, when you adjoin a residential use, that loading bay has to be 200 feet from a residential use, and right now, it's 20 feet to the building, and it's, you can't make that, if your building's, so, if you wanna seek an interpretation from the building inspector, you're welcome to do that, but it's gonna need to be addressed.
Yeah, sure, I'm going just to
Oh, sorry.
that the loading is, you're looking at the loading, it has to be 200 feet from both sides, that's why I assume so, but from the front, it's basically, the truck is backing in, the loading dock is right here, from here to the front is more than 200 feet.
But it's 200 feet from the loading bay, no, to the residential zoning district. And that red line, because your property is the last commercial property, the next zone is the URM.
Yeah.
So, since you're not 200 feet from the unless,
How was it then granted for this building? Because this building has 3 loading docks.
if I look
Not
at
that it's going to change in terms of loading.
I mean, the zone could have changed, or the codes could have changed since that time.
Could be, but I'll have to look in, otherwise we're grandfathered, because this has loading
well,
decks.
your old building may be grandfathered,
Right,
your
yeah,
new building.
Your new one would be grandfathered.
Yeah.
So who's doing this determination, the building inspector?
You can talk to the building inspector, that's where I'd start.
I don't think there was
Did
existing.
you provide the land use determination on this?
He does, I didn't, it's a good question.
I don't remember.
But this has been before us,
This was,
this is an old application. So, it could be in the former file here.
Give me a second. But the provision I'm referring to, setback from residential use. No off-street open parking areas containing more than 4 parking spaces shall be located closer than 10 feet from an adjacent lot zoned or used for residential purposes. Loading spaces shall be located not less than 200 feet from any residential district boundary. So that's the provision I'm relying on. And I can tell you
Yeah,
that
I have it. Sorry.
You got house 61 and
So,
65 right there.
He says, I've reviewed the land use determination form and proposed plans submitted for an additional storage building to be located at 59 Gilbert Street, Monroe. This property is located in the GB zoning district. Existing use of warehouse permits this proposed building with special use permit and site plan review through the planning board in accordance with 200-48 and 200-72. No variances are required for this proposed project. I think he missed that.
I think you may have, well, also the loading, I will note on the plans.
But again, our planning laws may have changed due to the last.
What I will
Revision.
tell you is, I don't see it noted on the plan, and Dave, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't see the loading zone shown on the plan.
I don't remember seeing it either.
But one would logically have to be there in order to get a truck, unless you're going to unload at your others and daisy chain them out over there. I don't know why you would do that.
I'll go to the old building and then just drag it over to the new building.
But you may want to seek an interpretation from the building inspector, but,
Roughly how far from the line are they now?
well, the
20
building
feet?
is 20 feet, so.
20 feet.
So it's like
Needs to be 200.
30 or 40,
Well,
because the site's
right
not
right
even-
now, I mean, this project looks like a rejection.
Well,
Needless to say,
no, well,
according to law,
right,
unless they go to ZBA.
right, we can't move forward on it.
We
Start
can't.
with Jim
Mm-hmm.
and see if he realized he might have missed the
You
code.
may have missed it.
Right,
Or the
'cause his
modified
letter came-
code,
his letter
because
came
you
in
said this is
22.
old.
That's, yeah, that's,
You said
So-
this is old. When was this first submitted? How
2
many-
years, so Jim's determination was May 27th, 2022.
So that's 2 years ago, and the code has changed.
Well, codes change pretty frequently, but,
Yes.
you know, so this one may have changed, so Jim may not have seen that.
but it's also not shown on the plan. There's no.
Oh,
loading
so,
zone- there's
so,
no
right,
loading zone
so
shown
he's
on-
going off your plans when he's doing that, so if there's no, and you need to load it, right, so he didn't realize,
And the rest of it.
yeah,
So on the plan, and then we'll give it to Jim to review.
right,
And I guess it's gonna happen
right.
on the next meeting, or it can still come to that. Can we just do the revision?
It can't come to the 22nd of this month, it'll have to go to the 26th of, November.
November.
And you're submitted, then you have till the 28th of this month to submit it.
And the other thing is, we absolutely, at this point, until we have that EAF, we can't take,
Yeah,
the project can't go any further.
So the EAF can still be submitted till.
No, we're not gonna it can be submitted at any time, but it's not gonna be discussed till the November meeting.
correct.
But if we don't,
But
if we
we
don't
need it.
have it,
We're not even gonna-
we're,
Correct.
well, we're pretty much at a standstill, because
Yeah.
we've gone as bad as far as we can without it. Okay.
So updated EAF, we'll put on the plan, the.
And then you need another letter of determination from Jim.
And that will estimate the next one, so.
Yeah. Okay, you're welcome. Have a good night.
That's a big,
Yeah, he's 20,000 square feet short.
like I said, Dave, that 44I has come up, a couple. Because anything on 17 that backs up on it,
Yeah, okay. So we are now looking at 386 Route 17M. And why don't you give us a quick overview of the project? And give us, oh, hey, Joel.
Good evening, Joel Mann, Brachman Associates. I will try to refresh my memory because I'm totally lost why I'm here tonight.
I get it. We're lost why we're here too.
you're here bailing your client out.
Exactly. So, anyway, so the proposal is there's an existing landscape and building material company on the site. They actually proposing one addition and another storage shed to an existing facility. So we have a 60 by 90 proposed storage shed and then a 30 by 40 addition to an existing one-story block building, and a fence separating the existing residential two single-family homes that's pre-existing non-conforming on the lot should be separated from the operation of the commercial use of the property. Then there is a proposed some bins for landscape material to sit on the site, and update there is a gravel area on the site that should be changed to be paved. So that's basically the concept.
Okay. I'm gonna ask Dave to review.
Okay, all right, let's go through the preliminary comments here. So number one, the zoning permits storage of lumber and building materials by special permit subject to section 200-48. The applicant should provide a narrative describing the proposed business which discusses how the project relates to the special permit criteria. Number two, section 200-26.2 of the zoning code states an accessory structure cannot be larger than the principal structure on the lot. It appears the proposed storage shed is larger than all other structures on the lot. So that's something that will be a variance.
Just a question, is that that's a principal structure?
So
if it's allowed to use for
storage shed will be the principal structure?
Both will be this principal structure. Does it need to be connected?
I don't think we got a land use determination.
We do have we do have a land use.
We do have a land use that we are, it should be good on that.
Sorry. I'll have to.
I got it here.
I'll have to look into that issue, as.
So Jim's letter came on the 25th of September.
Yeah.
Do you want me to read it, Dave, or no?
No, I found it.
You found it? Okay.
I don't know that it necessarily answers that
Yeah, I guess
that
we
question.
just clarify, if that's the case, so you're gonna be taking the proposed shed and making that the principal structure and then the other existing structure.
Right, but I mean, you're calling it shed, maybe you just need to call it storage building, so basically.
You know, we just had a discussion about this 3 or 4 projects ago.
The last project. Is that what you're talking about?
And there's existing structures on the lot.
Yeah.
A new structure cannot be larger.
No, not necessarily.
No. The principal
It's-
structure.
The principal
It's
structure. So what you're saying is that if I buy a piece of property with a barn on it, and I decide to put something 3 times that barn,
And call it the principal
and
structure.
call it the principal structure,
We don't know.
I get away with the law?
It's very,
That's a determination for Jim. That's the point.
I think I might explain it. So it depends on the use. So for example, if we have an automobile use, then you have a storage shed for some materials. That's the storage shed is definitely an accessory structure to the automobile. The use that's proposed there is actually lumber and building materials. That's
Right.
That's the
He's saying that's the principal business.
Principal business. So I think it's like
So-
not everywhere you can do that, but this is.
But that's why, before it gets to us, Jim has to make that determination. So just because he can review that and say, you know, how are you looking at this? That's his role.
so on 59, on 59 Gilbert, proposed storage building was clearly incidental to the commercial building that was in the front of the building, front of the lot.
Correct.
Right, but they made the storage bigger than the business, the actual office building. So I have this noted to look and confirm, but again, Jim has to issue a determination on that.
All right,
Yeah.
look into it.
I just applied to that, right, because the structure.
Yeah.
The storage.
Yeah.
All right, Dave?
Okay, number 3, a parking calculation table should be provided which includes all uses at the site. Number 4, the plan requires a north arrow. Number 5, parking for the smaller residential structure should be delineated on the site. Number 6, chain link fencing is used to separate the residential structures from the business area of the site. The fencing at the smaller residential building should be reconsidered so that residents are not exiting the rear of the structure into the contractor yard. Number 7, there appears to be a significant amount of gravel area in the rear of the site that is not observed on recent Google Earth imagery. The applicant should advise when the gravel is installed and also discuss why the proposed amount of pavement is necessary. Consideration should be made to reduce paving along the rear as much as possible to buffer the residential properties along Mark Terrace. Number 8, the area of disturbance that may have been completed without a permit, as I understood it, I thought there was a violation issue.
There is a violation on this property.
It's the front part, towards the like left side from the driveway, proposed towards proposed 6 feet high chain link fence. I don't know if you have it over here.
You have it up there, then?
Vanna White, here she comes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wasn't there
It
hair
was
salon up
years
there?
ago.
So the gravel in the back and around the side, that wasn't built, it was just gravel placed? So, we'll go back to the comments. The area of disturbance that may have been completed without a permit and proposed disturbance should be shown on the plan. Based on the amount of disturbance that has already been completed and the additional disturbance proposed, it appears a stormwater pollution prevention plan may be required. Number 9, existing and proposed utilities should be shown on the plans. Number 10, a dumpster enclosure should be shown on the plans. Number 11, EDA parking should be provided on the plan. Number 12, based on available county mapping, the site contains a stream/federal wetland and associated floodplain. Wetlands should be delineated by a qualified professional, and these areas should be shown on the plans.
I see it's missing from the plan, so we have to eliminate that.
Okay. Number 13, this application will require referral to the Orange County Planning Department based on proximity to the state highway. Plan should be more developed prior to this referral. And then number 14, an EAF should be submitted to initiate the secret process.
Thanks, Dave.
Okay.
Liz?
So the subject site is before Justice Court. They did receive a violation for clearing and other things without a permit, and also violating a stop work order. The applicant, who did appear in court, was advised by the court that the site should remain status quo until a permit was issued. All right, so at one point the judge said, do we want to clean it up? The building department requested from the court that the site remain status quo until further approval. So I will say that the judge has directed me to report back status of that. So with that said, please get us an EAF very quickly so I don't have to tell the judge that it's an incomplete application. Okay. All right. Project is subject to site plan review and special use permit. The project is subject to 239 due to its proximity to 17M. A referral to include OCD, Orange County Department of Planning, New York State DOT. A public hearing is required. Applicant to provide environmental assessment form. Applicant to provide materials list and architectural samples for review. Site plan comments, applicant to identify purpose of 20-foot easement shown on site plan, it looks like it's a water easement, please confirm. Property adjoins a residential zone, planning board.
Where's that showing?
There's an easement from your property to Mark Terrace, I think it's a water easement, if you could confirm easement, and if you have a library page, that would be great.
Okay.
Property adjoins a residential zone, planning board to address adequate buffering and required parking and loading setback. That gets into the 10-foot parking and 200 feet from a loading zone. Applicant appears to be paving the bulk of the site. Applicant to address impact of additional impervious surface on stormwater. Applicant to address impacts on floodplain. Applicant to address traffic flows both internal and external to the site, including on-site maneuvering and site distance on 17. Applicant to provide parking and loading calculations. Applicant to address signage. Applicant to address landscaping. And then a real fun nitpick. Your proposed materials bin appears to be covering a sewer manhole cover. Top bin and the manhole cover right in the middle of the bin.
Need another notebook for that one. Need another notebook for that one.
Maybe I'm wrong, at least on my version, there's a top bin all closest to the building. Nothing like having a ton of gravel on top of a sewer manhole that you need to. Let's get access to that sewer.
I need to check if that's a main, if that's a lateral, whatever run down there is. I assume it's lateral connection to the building, but.
Is there it says there's a roof on that bit.
So the proposal is to have black goes around.
Does that make that a structure?
That would be a determination for Jim.
I might ask Jim that question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even it's open almost on one side.
I'm assuming from an engineering thing, we don't like to have stuff on top of manholes.
No. The manholes will definitely remove.
I would also check with Jim on the,
Right, on the roof on that,
that's roof.
if it makes it a structure.
Make it a structure.
But just, I will, and I'm gonna go back to Dave's comment. I did look at the Google Earth imagery, and maybe the site date's old, but there's a lot more, there is a lot more gravel and pavement.
The Google's very old. If you go on Orange County GIS 2022, you can see it.
But, again, I agree with Dave's comment just from a pure, that's a lot of pavement, and there does not appear to be any sort of flow mechanism. It's just all paved.
Right.
There's no lines for where the trucks go, where the residences go.
Oh,
You've got-
definitely. We'll get it much more updated and detailed.
Yeah, because you have 2 residential homes in the middle of a contractor's yard.
I want to have more like the fundamental comments from the board, so I can make an advanced plan and incorporate everything in it.
You know what concerns me, Joel, is, they didn't even submit an EAF, number one, but number two, they don't seem to consider the law very important. Because they've been violated multiple times, they continue to break the law. One of the code enforcement officials had to bring the police there at one point.
I was not aware, okay, wow.
So it's a big concern that an applicant does not care what the law says, that they're gonna just do what they wanna do. So we're gonna take a really, really good look at all this.
I can tell you that. I know actually the owners.
And I don't, this is not a reflection on you because you've been before us many times, so.
Right. I'm not the owner.
Absolutely, and I know that.
I can tell you that. I actually know the owners, and I don't think there was any intent. I know them very well. They're a well-known local company here. I'm doing a lot of business with them. They're very honest people. My understanding was, a lot of times when the owners are not involved in the business, people on the site are doing what they want, since they have excavating equipment also. So the last time, I know what was they graded the area. So the next time when the building inspector came again, they didn't stop. They were about to stabilize the area. So there was a misunderstanding between the building inspector and them. They stopped actually. So this was the last time.
And just to be clear, the determination, at the request of the building department, because of the nature of what was being moved and everything else, nothing. Okay, so no movement, no cleanup.
No, there's no, what I'm talking
No, I'm
about,
just saying,
that was.
from now,
Right.
forward, I just wanna
Okay.
be abundantly clear
Yeah.
that site is to remain status quo,
Correct.
until you receive permits,
We'll make sure on that.
so.
Yeah.
Let's make a drone picture from it.
So, just remember,
It's very easy to do that now.
I am under court order, I do have to report back, I am no longer, serving as code enforcement prosecutor, so but I do have to report back to the code enforcement, prosecutor as to the status of the application, so if there are any significant delays, that will impact the court, so just be aware
No,
of that.
the plan is,
Lucky you.
I got full, full permission to go ahead. The only thing is, we're human beings. My office is like every professional office, overwhelmed, so I will have a licensed engineer also working that as going forward, once I know which direction we're going, so that basically, I think I got most of the fundamental comments tonight.
At a minimum,
EAF
get me
was,
the EAF so I can
EAF was
declare you
probably
have a-
oversight from my office. We'll make sure that you have it tomorrow. That's, I believe it's done and somehow didn't make the way to you, so because that's typically part of the application package, so.
Right. Okay.
Again, that's the story now, and we're here, I believe, they got their message, they're here to comply. We will work with you to get this done in a nice way. Whatever mitigation, whatever plantings, shouldn't be a big deal. They're a landscape company, so.
So, well, the owner either has to pay more attention, or figure something out,
Right,
because, or get rid of the people that are there.
They got thrown away from another place when they got there. They purchased this property with understanding that they can move in as is. It was a whole misunderstanding. I got involved later when they were already messed up, so it's.
Okay. Good, all right, so I think you have everything you need.
So,
Questions?
So I will submit the EAF and I will address, can I get a copy of your,
When I finish it,
okay.
because I didn't
Send me?
get plans.
Everything was a
until
little bit
Friday.
late, our secretary was gone.
Oh, no problem. So with that, I believe the next action, you don't have any action to do on the 22nd because
No.
you want to do lead agency on the 22nd if you have the EAF, or
No, because I want, no, so we're
want
gonna
to
wait
have
till,
more updated site plan?
Yes.
yeah,
Addressing
because,
Dave's comments, no
And
problem.
then don't forget, so this month, it's the 28th is a submission, and then we only have one meeting in November, and that's the 26th.
Only problem is we have holiday from from the 16th till the 27th. So I'm not sure how much the AF you will get, but I'm not sure if I will get on the October submission date a full set of plans. But what I will try to do, at least instead of compliance, you shall have it before the meeting. Even though you're not going to handle it at the meeting, you shall have it before the November meeting. I will be out of country also between the 14th and the 27th. So
Okay, so then we'll see in December on that.
correct.
So that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if I need to prove my flight ticket, but I have 9 tickets, me and my family, to Belgium. So
Bring your stamp
Nice.
passport.
In December, maybe some of the violations will be settled.
well, this is settling the, so this
Yeah.
is.
This
what-
is part of the settlement.
This is this resolution of
they
the
need to
violations.
comply with what the planning board will decide on the property.
So what the court has done is, before they offer any disposition or go to trial, we usually try to achieve compliance, but before we offer a disposition, if the applicant makes a good faith effort to apply and get approvals, our disposition will be very much different than what it would be if they don't.
But again, I will do all my effort. Things can happen that I can have. A lot of the comments need to be addressed by my office, so we'll have an engineer on that, so they can work when I'm not here. So if I can make the submission, I will definitely do the submission date on the 28th. 26th or the
26th, 28th is submission date.
28th.
26th of November is the meeting, but for you, probably December,
Okay.
I guess, right?
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Joel.
Thank you very much. Have a good night, everyone.
You too.
Thank you.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that, go
I'll
ahead.
second it.
Okay.
I'll third it too.
just have to sign your payment vouchers.
I think I deserve it after that meeting. Hold on, let me.
Haven't had a long one in a while.